Okay, sekarang kita tengah live di Facebook dan juga kita dah mula record. Okay, sementara saya kongsikan link untuk live ni di chat kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, boleh kongsi live di FB page Skolar Malaysia. Okay, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan boleh bantu share di Facebook masing-masing ataupun share di WhatsApp status.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Hai. Baik, saya mainkan video dulu. Sedikit intro lah kita punya Skolar. Kenaan dengan Skolar.
Let's go.
Okay, baik. Speaker kita dah berada bersama dengan kita. Jadi tanpa melengahkan masa, Dr. Putri pun dah ada. Okay, tanpa melengahkan masa, saya menyerahkan program ini kepada saudari Nur Aini.
Assalamualaikum, sihat ke semua? Okay, kita mulakan secara formal ya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Selamat datang ke webinar Rising Resilient Kids in a Digital World. Tahniah dan terima kasih kepada para hadirin yang sudi meluangkan sedikit masa untuk menyertai webinar ini dalam sebuah perjalanan tentang keibubapaan dalam dunia digital tanpa batasan untuk anak-anak. Saya, Aini, selaku moderator anda pada malam ini. Webinar ini ditampilkan khas oleh Dr. Putri Afzan Maria Zulkifli, seorang pakar terkemuka dalam bidang pendidikan dan pembangunan awal kanak-kanak yang merupakan seorang Skolar Affiliate Trainer. Beliau juga merupakan pengasas Kindergarten dan Sri Arya School. Beliau telah mencipta pelbagai peranan dalam bidang pendidikan awal kanak-kanak, merancang persidangan yang memberi impak dan juga memulakan program-program untuk melatih pendidik-pendidik masa hadapan berdasarkan kelayakan dan dedikasi beliau sendiri perolehi selama 7 tahun menetap di United Kingdom. Dengan latar pendidikan yang cukup kukuh, beliau sangat mahir dalam sains kognitif, perkembangan emosi dan pembelajaran kanak-kanak. Tanpa melengahkan masa lagi, saya menjemput Dr. Putri Afzan Maria Zulkifli atau lebih disegani dengan panggilan Dr. Pams untuk berkongsi sesi webinar yang sangat berinformatif ini. Dipersilakan Doktor.
Terima kasih Aini, thank you Syamil, thank you semua. Dr. Tazli pun ada tu saya nampak tadi. Don Brandon of course, okay the team ya. Yang lain saya tak tahu lagi kalau ada yang baru-barulah. So do I start immediately?
Boleh
Yes, yes.
Doktor, dipersilakan.
Okay, so saya akan share screen. Sekejap ya, share. Okay, nampak ya?
Nampak Doktor?
Ya, terima kasih banyak. Terima kasih Aini. Terima kasih semua. Terima kasih kepada yang orang kata melapangkan masa di malam minggu untuk bersama kita pada malam ini. Untuk saya, memberi ruang kepada saya berkongsi tentang raising resilient kids in a digital world, in which it's something that we can't run away now today in the world that we are today. We are bogged down with a lot of these issues with screen time dan sebagainya. And saya rasa perkara ini kita dah 2023 kan. Seingat saya pada mula saya melangkah ke dunia pendidikan, orang kata industri pendidikan 2014. Sebelum tu saya pensyarah di beberapa universiti. Orang kata masa tu pun saya dah sebut dah bersedialah dengan cabaran-cabaran digital kepada anak-anak kita. Masalahnya hadir apabila anak-anak ini belum cukup matang untuk memproses segala input yang masuk ke dalam otak mereka. Dan sebagaimana yang anda semua dengar daripada Aini tadi, sedikit background saya, bidang saya memang cognitive science. Jadi saya banyak mengkaji dan melihat bagaimana otak ini memproses sesuatu. Kita buat PhD mungkin nampak satu angle, tetapi as I go into this world of doing education and doing a lot of research work, kita melihat, kita nampak, observing dan sebagainya, impactnya sangat besar kepada bagaimana otak ini berfungsi. Lagi-lagi bila anak itu masih kecil, masih belum memahami, tetapi kita sudah mendidik mereka dengan hanya bergantung kepada skrin, di mana kematangan otak belum boleh membezakan baik dan buruk, cabarannya sangat besar. Jadi I'm not going to go with all these issues, tetapi saya pergi kepada terus straight to the point. Poin-poin yang saya akan kongsikan dengan anda semua, I'm going to do mixed language ya. There's 12 points, straightforward kepada poin-poin yang kalau boleh kita lihat dan kita cuba fokuskan, mungkin akan membantu kita membina kembali foundation yang kuat untuk anak-anak kita. Okay, let me just go straight to the points, the slides that I have. I have 37 slides, insyaAllah. I hope to give my best to all of you. Pagi tadi saya di Nibong Tebal buat sesi bacakanlah bersama untuk Malaysia, dan 65 orang ya, kanak-kanak murid cicir. It's real ya, dalam kita dunia social media, dunia digital, 65 anak-anak yang kami jumpa hari ini masih struggling dengan membaca. It's happening, it's real in this country, in Malaysia. So something about that juga yang mungkin ada perkaitannya dengan apa yang cuba saya sampaikan hari ini. Jadi going to resilience, apa itu resiliency? Apa itu kekuatan dalaman, jati diri? Dalam proses saya membina sekolah, melihat kepada apa yang diperlukan dalam sebuah institusi sekolah itu, adakah masih relevan dengan apa yang kita belajar hari ini? It's a lot of facts and facts and facts, and kita tahu dia punya cabaran kepada konten di sekolah itu sangat tinggi kalau kita nak selaraskan dengan kebolehan anak-anak ini memproses dan berfikir. Lagi pula tambah dengan cabaran digital world yang orang kata memaksa otak ini untuk proses dengan cepat, tetapi ada satu bahagian di mana kita masih lagi bertatih-tatih dalam nak belajar membaca dan sebagainya. Jadi resiliency, going back to that, what is it? It's the ability to recover strength. Imagine everybody, saya yakin di kalangan anda semua adalah mungkin para pendidik, para ibu bapa, ataupun mungkin lecturer ke, cikgu sekolah ke dan sebagainya, ataupun berminat dengan topik ini. The ability to recover strength. Imagine a young child. Are they able to recover strength, determination, spirit, flexibility, and a good humor in the face of change, mistakes, and trials? Do you think a 7-year-old is able to do this? Do you think a 5-year-old is able to do this? Do you think a 3-year-old, when you give them the digital world, put them at the forefront of digital world, the screen, are they able to do all this? No, definitely not. Okay, proses mereka membesar mengambil masa. The first 6 years it's where the windows of all this neuron connection, berjuta-juta neuron dihasilkan pada 6 tahun pertama, tetapi dalam proses itu kita sudah mendedahkan mereka kepada dunia digital di mana anak-anak ini belum boleh berfikir baik dan buruk. Okey, dan proses ini seterusnya kita kata sekolah rendah umur 7 hingga 12 tahun, boleh dikatakan tweens ataupun pre-teens, belum lagi matang dan belum lagi orang kata mahir dalam membezakan baik dan buruk, tetapi telah didedahkan dengan social media dan all the screen things, YouTube dan sebagainya. And then we are expecting them to be able to recover strength, determination, spirit, flexibility, being flexible in that world. Okay, we're expecting them to be able to do this without us guiding them. So how is it affecting our children? Bagaimanakah semua ini memberi kesan pada anak-anak kita? Resiliency, it's tough. It's tough. Kalau saya tanya anda yang mendengar hari ini, adakah anda cukup resiliency anda dalam dunia digital di mana ini you're there kan? Baca komen. Kalau komen tu komen yang menyengat, boleh tahan ke tak boleh tahan? Sakit jiwa ke tak sakit jiwa membaca? Syamil, macam mana Syamil?
Sakit jugalah jiwanya.
Kan? Bila komen-komen yang menyengat, komen-komen yang sangat narsistik, yang sangat sarcasm, it's not easy to process kan? Kita yang dewasa pun terasa, apatah lagi anak kecil. Belum lagi kita cakap pasal body shaming ke, bullying elements, all on in the digital world. And these are not easy. Okay, these are not easy sebab anak-anak mudah tertarik dengan YouTube, mudah tertarik dengan all these things. Nampak YouTube macam fun, tiba-tiba diselitkan dengan perkara yang mungkin tidak elok. Anak-anak ini dibiarkan untuk memproses seorang diri tanpa kita berada di situ. Saya tak cerita jauh, saya juga ada anak-anak 5 orang, jadi anak-anak juga berhadapan dengan perkara ini. Okay, tapi dengan ilmu yang kita ada, we are able to help them make sense out of what they are watching, which is very important. Okey, sebab resiliency ni kalau kita kata hari ini ditambah dengan ujian social media ataupun digital world itu sendiri, internet, YouTube dan sebagainya, bayangkan apabila mereka keluar daripada rumah besar nanti, besar tu umur berapa, okey, pelbagai manusia akan mereka jumpai. Pelbagai perkara, halangan, cabaran dan sebagainya dalam dunia pekerjaan, dalam dunia apa sahaja yang mereka akan lalui, mereka juga perlukan resiliency ini. So going back to this Itulah definition resiliency, ya. Do we think our children as young as 6 years old is able to do this? Whatever it is, I want all of you be with me today. Focus on the foundation. Saya nak ajak kita semua untuk fokus kepada foundation kembali. Bila saya kata foundation tu apa maksudnya? Okay. Sekejap ya. Okay. So bila saya kata foundation, saya maksudkan asas. Asas kepada pembinaan jati diri anak-anak. Okay, jadi kita bercakap tentang resiliency. Resiliency ni memerlukan banyak perkara sebagai foundation untuk menyokong resiliency seterusnya, untuk menyokong jati diri mereka, untuk menyokong segala self-related elements dalam membina manusiawi itu sendiri. Kalau kita tengok gambar ini, you are looking at pembinaan asas sebuah bangunan ataupun rumah. Asas ni memerlukan kekuatan yang orang kata sangat kukuh untuk kita pastikan bangunan itu tidak mudah roboh. Jadi kalau saya tanya anda yang mendengar hari ini bersama saya, bersama kita di Skolar Academy, bagaimanakah kita dalam membina foundation diri anak-anak kita? Okay, how are we in terms of that? Do we want it to collapse just like this? As simple as this, rapuh? Mudah remuk seperti ini? You don't want this. But what is it that's important yang perlu kita pegang dalam membina foundation itu? Dalam dunia digital hari ini, di hujung jari, ya, dunia di hujung jari. Kita boleh sampai ke mana-mana sahaja di dunia ini hanya dengan jari kita. Di Google Maps, pasang sahaja orang kata the real yang orang kata the roadside, dan kita boleh nampak jalan tu kan, kita tekan tu kita dah boleh nampak dah. Kalau dekat, katalah tiba-tiba kita nak pergi, kita rindulah, dulu pernah duduk kat London, kita rindu, kita tekan nak tengok London punya street, go ahead, tekan, you boleh nampak, and it's being updated by Google, every now and then it's updated. That means you will see the latest development of how it's like in London. It's di hujung jari dunia hari ini. Jadi it's very, very orang kata real lah. So going back to the tips that I want to share with all of you, ada 12 points di sini. I'm gonna orang kata leave it to all of you, ya, to choose which one first, which one next dan sebagainya. But this is just a list. I've been doing a lot of session like this, talks dan sebagainya. Memang saya banyak menceritakan foundation dahulu, kemudian what's next dan sebagainya. Tapi malam ini, I give you tips. These are 12 tips that you might want to focus on in order to make sure the resiliency of our children is there. So, the first thing first, positive relationships. Okay, what does it mean by positive relationship? Kalau dalam pendidikan awal kanak-kanak, positive relationship ni sangat penting. Contoh, saya tak payah pergi jauh, pagi tadi bersama murid cicir di Nibung Tebal. Method saya sangat mudah. Kalau tidak ada positive relationship, tidak akan mudah, ya, untuk kita mendekati anak-anak ini yang dalam kepala mereka sudah ada labeling. Mereka ini lembam, mereka ini tak pandai membaca, mereka ini kelas terakhir, mereka ini kelas pemulihan. They have all this labeling in their brain. The first thing first that we did, the activity that we did is just to orang kata open them up. Itu pun mereka sangat takut, sangat timid, sangat lack of confidence. Okay, so the thing that we have to put in terms of orang kata nak dapatkan trust mereka dalam proses belajar, is always positive relationships. Going back to PKP, kenapa ramai guru yang komplain? Sewaktu PKP, pelajar-pelajar, anak murid block WhatsApp, tutup kamera, kelas online tutup kamera. Okay, why is this happening? Not talking to the teacher. Why? And cikgu cakaplah seorang-seorang. So going back to the most main thing, it's that positive relationship. Jadi saya akan bertanya balik, how is the relationship between the teacher and the student? If there is a relationship, I bet the student will open up the webcam sebab rindu. Nak tengok cikgu, 2 tahun tak dapat pergi sekolah, I miss my friends, But what if there is none relationship at all? Who cares, kan? Betul tak? Who cares? Control is at their fingertips. They can just off the button. They can just block you at WhatsApp. Who cares? Because there's no relationship. And what comes with relationship? It's the trust. So positive relationship first. So today, when I was having our session, when we had our session this morning, it's all about this positive relationship first. Kita nak dapatkan trust daripada mereka. Positive first. Bila dah positif, dah percaya, dah ada trust di situ, slowly they will open up themselves. Itu pun adalah beberapa segelintir yang masih dalam proses, and it takes time. And we had a 4-hour session with them. So looking at this ecological system theory, what is it? What is it? Okey, saya ambil contoh gambar ini, agak sensitif di luar itu adalah tanda-tanda agama ya. Tapi saya nak juga bagi contoh pada anda sebab agama tak boleh lari daripada diri kita. Kita ada pegangan, kita ada prinsip. Tetapi yang menariknya gambar ini, saya nak anda lihat proses daripada lahirnya seorang anak hinggalah kita meninggal nanti. Connection yang paling tengah-tengah tu, seorang anak, mak, ayah, adik-beradik, atuk, nenek. Very close family members. That one comes first. Jika relationship dalam keluarga yang paling dekat ini baik, maka relationship dengan sekolah, relationship dengan masyarakat, relationship dengan semua yang berada di sekeliling kita akan jadi baik. Tetapi jika relationship kat dalam tu tak okey, seterusnya akan tak okey. So, saya ingatkan kembali kita bercakap tentang resiliency, kita bercakap tentang kita nak menyediakan anak kita untuk ada jati diri yang kuat, resiliensi, ketahanan, daya ketahanan diri yang kuat untuk berhadapan dengan dunia luar, dunia yang sangat mencabar, dunia digital. Kembali kepada yang paling asas, iaitu relationship antara anak tadi bersama ibu dan ayahnya. Kemudian keluarga terdekatnya, kemudian masyarakat setempat dan seterusnya. Okay, relationship plays a lot of role in making this child percaya bahawa diri dia tu ada self-worth yang tinggi, membina self-concept yang baik, mempunyai, dalam proses self-actualization yang cantik. Okay, so semua ini bermula dengan positive relationship dalam diri kita dahulu. Next point, I'm going to go into emotional regulation. How good are we in terms of regulating our emotion? Siapa yang biasa follow saya akan biasa dengar. Saya akan sebut perkara ini. It's always emotion. It's always emotion. Cukup dengan PKP 2 tahun, berapa ramai adopt tantrum yang mula surface, pushed outward. Why? Because dah tak boleh tahan dah, nak meletup dah ni. Because you have been keeping. We Asian countries are very well known by therapists, okay, by therapists in this whole wide world as a suppressed nation. We suppressed our emotion. Nak tak nak, walaupun saya dalam pendidikan dan saya berjumpa dengan perkara ini yang mana menghalang proses pembelajaran seterusnya. Selagi emotional regulation itu tidak cantik, mana mungkin anak kita boleh mengatakan, ini tak baik ibu, jangan tengok ni, yang ni baik ni, boleh tengok seterusnya, that kind of thing. Website ni baik, saya boleh follow, website ni tak okay. If you do not have emotional regulation, you won't be able to even do this. Okay, so that is emotional regulation. Apa dia? Mengenal pasti apakah emosi-emosi yang ada dalam diri kita. Paling simple, saya selalu galakkan. Siapa yang belum tonton cerita ini, tolonglah tonton. Inside Out kan?
Inside Out, betul.
Betul.
Tiba-tiba saya lupa tajuk. So, Inside Out. Mengenalkan anda kepada 5 watak sebenarnya. There's one more kan? Discuss. Okay. So, blue, green, yellow, red, purple. Was it purple? No. It's there. But anyway, okay, I'm just going to go straight. So kita ada sad, okay, kita ada the green one, the happy one, joy, kita ada yellow, frustrated, worried, anxious, excited, dan kita juga ada red yang sentiasa marah. Dia sebenarnya ada 5. So this 5 karakter ni, dia mengawal control panel dalam otak kita. So ada yang memahami bahawa otak kanan very emotional based, otak kiri very logical based. Secara orang kata a very simple way of explaining things ya, kalau saya selalu explain pada ibu bapa, memang kita akan develop our emotional brain first. That's why teenagers, they think with emotions. They can't have that logical thinking yet until the brain complete its development, which is at 25 years old. 25 tau. Lambat lagi. So kalau kita kahwin umur 22 tu lagi 3 tahun tu otak kita tak cantik lagi terbentuk. Otak tak siap lagi. Okay. So that process of making sure the whole brain ni develop dengan cantik. So right brain ataupun very emotional related, bila dia nak membesar, berkembang dan sebagainya, dia memerlukan jambatan-jambatan ke otak kiri yang berlandaskan logical brain. So kita bercakap tentang emotional regulation. You want to help your children regulate their emotion, you must be the bridge to help them make sense of why they are angry. Why are they frustrated? Bina Lego tinggi-tinggi, kejap lagi jatuh, roboh. Lepas tu marah, mengamuk, rage. You must be there to help them make sense out of why. Kenapa jatuh? Kenapa tak jadi? Penat dah ni bina tinggi-tinggi. Okay. Sebagai seorang dewasa, very logical thinking. Okay. Kita pun explain pada anak kita. Mungkin buat tinggi-tinggi tapi tapak dia tak strong enough to support the very tall, building yang kita nak buat tadi. Yang kita dah buat tadi. So, to be the bridge. By explaining that, this child, instead of rage, dia terus macam, okay. Being a natural experimenter, a natural scientist, young children, dia pun cuba, try and error. Okay, let's try, make it, orang kata, besar sikit lah tapak tadi. Collapse tak kali ni? Will it collapse? Tak collapse lah, Mami. Sebab he is now or she is now making sense out of apa mak dia cakap tadi ataupun ayah dia cakap tadi. Dia akan strengthen the bridge in the middle. So next time bila perkara seperti ini berlaku, sebab kita nak ajar dia regulate emotion, the next time benda-benda yang melibatkan frustration berlaku, dia akan pause sekejap. What's going on? Why is this? To do that regulating themselves, to be able to breathe in and breathe out, to be able to make sense out of whatever feelings that they are feeling, to be able to name the feelings. Antara perkara yang saya selalu sebut sebelum ni, name it to tame it, to be able to name it. I am mad, I am very angry, and then you tame it. Okay, dalam buku bermain saya ada saya sebut, all this process of marah ke, silly, worried dan sebagainya, frustrated, dia ada waktu-waktu dia. 30 minit pertama, 30 saat pertama, 30 minit lama sangat. 30 saat pertama, 30 saat yang kedua, 30 saat yang ketiga. Yang pertama dia baru nak naik. 30 saat kedua berada di atas. Sewaktu ini, kalau dia tengah marah dan kalau kita masuk campur, if we enter into their zone yang tengah marah tu, dia akan sama ada lagi marah, dia takkan settle down lagi sebab dia tengah dekat a very high peak. And then slowly after the first 60 seconds, slowly dia akan slow down, turun. This is where if we enter and we are able to talk to them, they are slowly letting go of the feelings. So this is to help them regulate. And regulate is a process. Regulating takes time. Kita kalau tengah marah, tiba-tiba orang suruh kita stop. Kita marah tak? Rasanya kita lagi marah. Betul kan Aini? Betul kan Syamil?
Betul.
Kita kan nak mengamuk rasa. Jangan kacau. Aku tengah marah ni. Contoh macam tu. So similarly, all other feelings. So feelings yang ditunjukkan dalam Inside Out 5 tu adalah sangat-sangat asas. Feelings ini bila dicampur, dia akan membina feeling-feeling seterusnya. Menurut buku yang saya baca, yang saya refer to, ada more than 400 feelings. That's a lot of feelings. Okay, but these are the basic ones. So emotional regulation is very important in order for us to build resiliency in our young children or in our children, tak kisahlah teenagers ke, ataupun in ourselves. Okay, how are we in terms of regulating our emotion? Marah ni, tapi boleh bertenang. Marah sebab orang potong jalan kita, tak bagi signal, tapi kita masih lagi boleh bertenang. Bukan kita tekan minyak kejar. Kejar kan, marah kan orang potong jalan. Relax. Take it easy, tak apalah, orang tu mesti tak tahan nak pergi toilet, sebab tu dia macam tu. Okay, tak apalah dia sakit perut tu, tak apalah dia ada emergency. Okay, jalanlah dulu. Kita relax, chill. Emotional regulation. If you have this, resiliency, if you can do this with your children, resiliency anak-anak kita antaranya, insyaAllah dalam proses nak membina resiliency yang baik. So, di bawah tu kalau kita tengok, if you need to rest, rest. If you need to pause, pause. If you need to stop, stop. If you need to go slow with it. most important is dalam proses regulating to be able to acknowledge, to be able to recognize, to be able to name it, whatever feelings that comes to you. Because kalau you jelas ya, aware ya, self-awareness sangat tinggi kan. Okay, hari ni saya tengah anxiety ni hari ni. Okay, saya minum air sekejap, you know, to be able to do that. Okay, tapi kalau kita tak boleh, anxiety tu terjadi panic attack. So kita pegang seorang. You're not able to share it with others, you know. So this is actually very important. And of course, if you ask me, as young as umur berapa ni nak ajar anak ni? As young as 2, if they know language, if they know bahasa, as young as 1, as young as babies, as young as baby dalam perut. Ajarlah seawal yang mungkin. Dan lagi best bila mak ayah dia dah ada dulu. So bila parents dah ada dulu, tengah mengandung ni kan, ya Allah, mami penat sangat hari ni, I'm so sorry baby, you know, you will feel my heartbeat is so laju, you know, it's so fast, so quick, mami tengah breathe in, breathe out ni, but you're okay in the tummy kan, you're okay kan, okay, you know, this is how the world is like, you know, it's very tough, it's very to be able to say it out loud, you know, being moms and dads or teachers or pendidik, you cannot stop talking. Kalau you senyap je, anak you susah nak belajar something from you. Seriously, I tell you, you have to be the first person to communicate. Kena bercakap, kena ajar anak untuk, Mami, I'm very happy today. Thank you, Mami. 2 tahun cakap macam tu, best tak? Mami, thank you, Mami. Mall. Thank you, Mami. Happy. Dah. You know, to be able to say it out loud is very important. Okay, then is problem solving skills. Ni baru point yang ketiga. Ada 12 kan? I'm also opening up my slides here just to double check. Okay, so problem solving. Why is it important? Tadi saya kata paling simple ya, cakap pasal resiliency. Benda tu elok ke tak elok? Kita tengok kartun macam, anak saya tengok kartun tu okey tu. Kejap lagi diselitkan dengan bahasa-bahasa yang mungkin tidak berapa molek lah orang katakan, tak berapa elok ataupun double meaning dan sebagainya. Ataupun adalah sketsa-sketsa yang tidak berapa sesuai, tidak berapa senonoh. How is our children in terms of solving that kind of problem? They don't know it's even a problem. Are we going to just leave it like that, or are we going to be with them to help solve the problem? But of course, kita semua sibuk, penat, balik kerja, nak masak, nak sediakan baju sebagainya, nak sediakan dinner dan sebagainya. We don't have time to be with our children all the time. So bila kita nak sediakan this skill of problem solving? At any time. At whatever problems, you know, pagi-pagi lambat ke, pagi-pagi jam ke, through the idea of penat fikir seorang-seorang kan, macam ya Allah, Mami bawa kereta hari-hari jam nak hantar awak pergi taska. Mami penat lah, macam mana kan, kenapa lah asyik-asyik jam macam ni, dah keluar awal pun jam juga. Baby rasa macam mana baby? Baby tu baru setahun, nak cakap pun belum lagi. Tapi dia mendengar. Kena ingat ya, dia mendengar. Dan semuanya bermula dengan komunikasi. Going back to the first point, positive relationships. Are you even talking? Or orang kata giving words to your children's brain. You talk to them. Ni belum lagi saya cerita membebel pasal membaca tu kan. Membaca bermula dengan bila anda banyak berkomunikasi dengan anak-anak. So problem solving, you give the problem. You ajak thinking together. And then ta-da! What kind of solution would that be? Contoh, penat kita tunggu kat traffic light ni kan, merah, whatever. Tapi motor sedap je lalu. Anak kat belakang kan, dia memerhati. Is that good or is it not good? Is it problem solving or is it not problem solving? Macam mana anak-anak tengoklah tu lampu merah tapi jalan, nak kata pergi sekolah, nak kata tak pergi sekolah, nak kata pergi belajar lesen memandu, belajar. Kalau tidak macam mana dapat lesen tapi langgar lampu merah dan sebagainya. What do you think? You know, what do you think anak-anak? What do you see that as? How do you see that? What is going on around us? Why are people doing that? Isn't that dangerous? You give them things to think about. So problem, and then you ajak thinking process, solution. As simple as that. You're talking about kebat. Kebat is nothing if you do this at home. Baru-baru ni, I have session with our parents lah in one of the school kan. So one thing that I shared with the parents is this. Sometimes kan parents, yes, saya buat sekolah. But you cannot give your homework to me. because it's not even my homework to do. When it's your homework, you do your homework. As a parent, you have your homework. You do your part. I do my part as a school. Contoh kan? So this is generally sharing with all of you, yeah? I have to do that. I have to say that because I cannot solve all your problems. Okay, like you coming here tonight kan, doing sitting in with this session. I cannot give you all the solution. There's a lot of solution out there. There's a lot of 101, 1001 methods and sebagainya. Again, it goes back to us whether we want to do it or we do not want to do it. Itu saja. So cakap pasal change. Sebab saya dah buat benda ni daripada 2014, doing change. I cannot change anybody who doesn't want to be changed. I cannot change anyone who is going against the change. So whatever it is, it comes from in your inner self, inner being. So you're talking about resiliency. Kalau kita sendiri tidak ada perkara itu, tak payah cakap lah nak bina resiliency untuk anak-anak kita. It won't happen. Because kita sendiri pun tak buka minda kita untuk buat perkara ini. It all starts at home. The first teachers are parents. The first schools are homes. Rumah. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm still working on with my 5 children. I have 17, the eldest. I have 8, the youngest. 2 orang baru sunat. So, berehat di rumah, playing games, rage. I have problems like that as well. It's very normal. It's very common. I need to share this with all of you so that you're aware. I'm a normal mom. A normal human being. I am also doing all this and we need to do this together. If all of us buat homework kat rumah sama-sama tolong anak kita, kita buat bahagian kita, insya-Allah masyarakat akan jadi okey. We have to play our role. So, talking about problem solving as one of the point untuk membina resiliensi diri ni, anak-anak ni, memberi skill untuk ada solution. Okay, bukanlah orang kata suap je, tunggu je, nganga, suap je, nganga je, terima saja. One thing about digital world, one thing about screen time yang I have been saying again and again and again since 2014 is, if that is the only thing that we give or provide to our children, they are taking in a lot of things and they are training their brain as just orang kata one way communication tu. Dia ambil sahaja information then they do not know how to process, they do not know how to keluarkan all this input for other people. Dia hanya boleh take things in. Samalah dengan kalau konsep belajar itu adalah konsep hanya menerima maklumat masuk dalam otak. Bila sampai end of the year, you have to do exams, you have to muntahkan everything on exam, but you're not processing up here. You're not doing this problem solving skill. Tak payah cerita pasal kebat. Kebat should be something very natural semula jadi for a human person. Bila bulb tu rosak, bulb lampu terbakar, what do? Tukar bulb lampu baru. Bukan tunggu. Dr. Putri, bulb lampu dah mati. Saya nak buat apa? Jangan terkejut. I have that from a graduate. What's going on? Problem solving pun tak boleh. You have to wait. Why can't you just buy the bulb first, for example, kan? So this is talking about that problem solving, problem thinking, and solution. Are you able to provide solution? Jangan terkejut with young children when they give you solution, because they are very, very pure at giving ideas from up here. Whatever makes sense to them, sometimes kita rasa macam, wow, kadang-kadang rasa tertampar sendiri juga kan, sebab anak-anak kita ni bijak sebenarnya when they are able to give you the right solution. Okay, next point would be bercakap tentang resiliensi untuk anak-anak, menyediakan anak-anak kita, menyediakan kekuatan dalaman diri mereka untuk berhadapan dengan dunia luar. One of it is self-confidence and self-efficacy. What does it mean? Okay, ramai yang datang pada saya, doktor, anak saya tak ada confident, doktor, anak saya tak ada confident, doktor, anak saya tak boleh ni, tak boleh tu, tak boleh ni, tak boleh tu. Berapa ramai di kalangan kita di sini hari ini yang suka cakap jangan pada anak, yang suka cakap no pada anak. Jangan panjat, jangan pegang tu, jangan pegang ni, jangan nanti pecah kaca mami tu, jangan panjat tangga, no staircase. Everything is no, jangan, and then you expect them to have confidence. You must understand, young children as they grow, they need to do a lot of trial and errors. They need to feel the fall. It's better to fall at a very young age, as young as 2 and below. Of course, kita tak nak dia jatuh kat kepala lah. So make sure yang sekeliling tu tidak ada benda tajam, tidak ada benda yang, jatuh tu fall safely. So your house should be children, orang kata, children proof lah. Kalau jatuh tu bukan dekat simen, ada carpeted, like you tengok cerita apa, Superman, Korea, I can't remember. How they do Superman, it's a reality show. So di rumah-rumah orang-orang Korea, how they parent their children. You tengok how safe their house is in terms of padded dan sebagainya. And then lapang, tak ada pun barang-barang kaca macam kita bagai nak rak kita susun tu kan. Okay, but look at how they build this confidence in their children. They don't say no or jangan, they just allow. But you are there to make sure that they are in a very safe environment. Safe bukan bermaksud nak overprotective. Sometimes bila kita ada rasa sense of terlalu guilty, yang mungkin terlalu nak save anak, guilty sebab dulu kita tak dapat, guilty sebab dulu nobody cares about you. But with our children, kita extra care, extra overprotective sampai nak bagi pergi mana-mana pun tak bagi. Sebab apa? Nak protective ni. That will take away their confidence. Confidence ni nak bina, dia bukan hanya daripada anda, dia juga memerlukan environment sekeliling mereka. So going back to this self-confidence, self-efficacy, if I can show you the next one. What do you see here? Saya kata self-confidence and self-efficacy kan? Somehow self-esteem tidak lari daripada gambar rajah yang melibatkan self-confidence dan self-efficacy. Self-efficacy adalah kebolehan untuk melakukan sesuatu dengan baik, be able to interact. And this self-confidence is an overlap between self-efficacy and self-esteem. Now I'm going to ask you, self-esteem, kat situ dia tulis feeling and thinking. What do you think of this feeling and thinking? How do you think this feeling and thinking is related to this thinking skills, problem solving? And how does it relate to this feeling part? Isn't it super related, everybody? Very, very related. And before that is positive relationship, the support. Kalau dalam pendidikan awal kanak-kanak, kita panggil perkara ini as a scaffolding, support system. Scaffold, tahu kan? Bila kita nak buat bangunan, kita kena ada scaffolds kan? Untuk hold the bangunan supaya dia tak jatuh, supaya kalau orang pekerja buat kerja sebagainya, dia ada support system di situ. Scaffolding is the same perkataan kita guna dalam pendidikan awal kanak-kanak untuk support the child. Okay, now going back to this self-esteem. Do we give enough? Do we build enough self-esteem in our children? Do we support their feeling? Do we support their thinking process? Okay, let me just tap into this angle. Sekejap ya, Syamil and Aini, saya kena stop pukul berapa?
Kalau ikut time 10.30, tapi kalau doktor sudi untuk drag, kami okey je.
Okay. Kita bagi ruang sikit for Q&A lah kan?
Boleh.
Saya cuba sebab slide dah banyak. Thank you. Okay, so going back to the self-esteem, feeling and thinking, I'm going to tap into this area in which I'm not sure how everybody is in terms of accepting this. But somehow, when we do not have it, it's hard for us to even give it to our children. Okay, kita tak ada, macam mana kita nak bagi? Kita tidak pernah diajar untuk regulate ourselves. How do we even do that for our children? Kita diajar untuk ignore crying. Don't cry. Cry, baby. You shame lah you. You boy also you cry. Why you cry? No good. You do that for young people. Contoh, you had that before. Kat mana kekuatan yang datang dalam diri kita untuk buat ke anak kita? How would you do it? Subconsciously, unconsciously, automatically in your brain, because itu yang ada, itulah yang kita akan buat pada anak-anak kita. Mengaku je. It's not wrong to mengaku, but because itu je yang kita ada dalam otak kita, itu jugalah yang kita akan buat pada anak-anak kita. Mengaku kerana the moment you aware and you kata, yes, that's the only thing that I have in my brain, I don't know other methods of helping my children to regulate themselves, because I've never been taught to do that. Okay, I've never seen anybody doing that throughout my journey growing up. So you tak ada role model tu, macam mana kita nak buat kat anak-anak kita? So that's when you learn. That's when, if dalam diri kita rasa, I don't have this, but I want it. I want to change myself so that I can be a better parent. Okay, then seek for knowledge, get the understanding how to do it, support this part, self-esteem, the feeling and thinking part, in order to make sure bila dia gabung dengan self-efficacy, the self-confidence is there. It's overlapped beautifully. Okay, I hope that is clear. Self-confidence and self-efficacy is one of the components that is very important if you want to make sure the resiliency in your children is there, beautifully developed. Okay, so self-confidence tak berdiri sendiri tiba-tiba boleh confident, tidak. Jika anda tidak menjadi scaffold kepada mereka, jika anda tidak support mereka, like contoh, Mommy, I cannot do my homework. It's okay. What do you need? I know you're sad. Acknowledge them. I know you're sad. I know you feel like a failure. I know you feel this. I know you feel that. Okay, would you like to take a minute? Would you like to take a pause? When you feel much better, then let's look into your book again and see if we can do it. Step by step. One thing about Mak Sadir yang banyak saya belajar while I was there for 7 years tu is I'm always in awe lah bila tengok cara Mak Sadir bercakap dengan anak dia kan. Satu dia sebut. Tak ada macam kita cepat. Kereta ni cepat. Non-stop, tak ada full stop, comma pun tak ada. Everything nak cepat. Let's just take a pause. It's tiring lah, Mom and Dad. Tiring to do all that. Relax, chill. Memang traffic jam. Memang tak boleh lari. If you can go keluar rumah awal, go ahead. But if you can't, and that's the only way that you can do it, the only jalan that you can lalu, relax, slow and easy. Jam will always jam. Traffic will always be traffic. You just go ahead, calm, control yourself. Kalau tidak, kita lah yang keluar adopt tantrum kita tu. Relax and easy. Show the good role model to our anak-anak. If they need time to tie their shoelace, do you need help? Because Mommy is very late now. My office hour is starting soon. Would you like me to help you tie your shoelace? Muka penat ni. But offer that help. Talk to them. So, saya selitkan sedikit. Key to help your children to be able to read. Bukan dengan cara yang mengeju dan sebagainya, ya. Paling asas boleh membaca is when you communicate, when you talk to your children, when you share all these words with them one by one. Satu. Kita pun boleh bernafas, ya, Aini and again with you, Syamil, kita pun boleh bernafas. Tak adalah kita kalut.
Orang-orang kita selalu sabung je.
Ya.
Kesabaran.
Ya, betul, kesabaran. Untuk husband, kalau dengan wife non-stop bercakap, dia kata kita membebel. It's not nice juga tak? Betul tak? So, for moms, let's learn to put some commas and put some full stop, chill, one by one, because if it's too much pun, our children can't process. It's too much in the brain. So step by step. Self-esteem first, remember? You nak bina self-esteem, you jangan membebel. You nak membina self-esteem, you jangan bagi arahan. You nak self-esteem yang baik, you allow them to make a lot of mistakes. You allow them to feel. Kalau dia nak mengamuk lah. Daripada dulu, soalan yang very famous. Kalau dekat mall mengamuk kat atas lantai tu berguling-guling. It's okay. Give them some time. Wait. Kalau mata-mata sekeliling tu melihat anda atas bawah seolah-olah macam judging you like you're not a good parent, you just angkat tangan. It's okay. I'm handling this. I know. He's my child. He needs time. When he's okay and better, bila dah 30 saat, dah okay, then you go to your child and you talk to them. Would you like to speak now? Would you like to discuss now? I know you're upset. I know you want that Barbie doll, but I'm not going to buy it for you today. Talk to them. Budak-budak ni memang akan test you. Bagai nak rak, dia test and push you to the edge. Okay, you memang kena buat. Kata Syamil tadi, banyakkan bersabar. Okay? Nak jadi mak ayah memang kena banyak bersabar. Lepas ni penat ni, ya Allah. Okay. Non-stop cakap ni, okay? Okay, next point, adaptability, flexibility. Saya nak cerita bahagian ni sebab dunia hari ini memerlukan kita dewasa yang sangat cognitive flexibility. And somehow this is being pushed down to our children very, very, very quick because of the digital world. We have no choice but to be able to quickly, cognitively flexible. Apa maksud dia? To be aware is one thing. Too much of awareness pun pening kepala. Semua benda nak kena aware. Ini tak elok, ini tak elok, ini semua tak elok. Semua, ini okey, ini tak okey. Penat kan? It's very noisy up here. You know? Imagine when a child is playing online game. Tak sempat pun nak fikir semua ni. Things just happen. Tiba-tiba ada orang mencarut. Tiba-tiba ada orang guna perkataan tak elok. Tiba-tiba tu semua keluar. Bila masa kita nak, bidas, torak ke tepi. Tak nak dengar yang tu, tak nak dengar. Tutuplah, Kalau macam tu pun tak jalan hidup. So what is needed? Adaptability, adapting to the new environment, adapting to new things, being able to adapt. One of the word used, agile, kan? Being able to, orang kata, very flexible. Boleh masuklah tang mana pun. But when a child is only trained in terms of brain dia, training dia adalah pattern dalam otak dia hanyalah untuk menerima maklumat. Dia tak boleh bagi feedback. Adaptability dah menjadi satu isu. Flexibility juga menjadi satu isu. Bila saya kata masuk je, dia macam you tengok TV kan, input masuk dan tidak ada ruang untuk anda memberikan reaction ataupun maklum balas. Contoh macam ni lah, bila saya tengah bercakap ni, you all tengah terima input. Okay, tetapi saya akan buka lah Q&A at the end so that you can ask me questions and I can answer your questions. But with the young children who doesn't know, the communication part is still in the process of building. They do not have that yet. So be careful with this process and this journey, adapting to. How do we train our children to be more adaptive? How do we train them to be more flexible? Tak ada cara lain, pendek je saya punya jawapan adalah, cadangan saya adalah, jika anda boleh, banyakkan perbincangan dengan anak to help them with adapting. Mami tadi kan main game kan, tiba-tiba kan ada orang dalam game tu cakap macam ni. Apa tu? Adapting to the game. Nak masuk dalam dunia game ni bukan senang. Dah lah dia macam VR kind of thing. Bukanlah VR, tapi 3D lah. Basically, you're playing in a real life. It's a simulation game dan sebagainya. And there's a lot of people in there. There's a lot of people talking. Tiba-tiba ada teks kat tepi tu. Dahsyatlah game sekarang ni. Dulu kita game tu game apa? Snake and ladder. Snake je. Dekat phone Nokia ke apa tu zaman saya lah. Aini dengan Syamil mungkin lagi muda pada saya. Tak sempat pun rasa game Snake tu. Mungkin. Saya rasa you all muda.
Sempat. Saya sempat. Aini mungkin tak sempat. Saya sempat.
Okay. Syamil nampak muda lagi. Okay. Alright. So being cognitive flexible. Tadi kata adaptive kan? Satu lagi, cognitive flexible maksud dia apa? At that moment and time where you need to change your decision making to be able to cognitively being flexible about it. You know you don't like it, but you're pushed to making the decision there and then. Macam main game. Mana sempat? Nak kena shoot. Tembak. Cognitive flexibility. Okay, kena lari. You have to be very, very flexible. Very quick. Tidak ada masa yang boleh menunggu anda. Bayangkan this cognitive flexibility happening in the real world that we are today. Dengan hadirnya social media, dengan hadirnya all this internet, you have to do things. You have to do a lot of things. Secara serentak. You have to do everything at one time. Penatnya kognitif. And this cognitive part, kalau saya boleh gambarkan lah ya, bahagian depan yang control panel tu. Yang kalau dalam cerita Inside Out, dia duduk dalam control panel. Kat depan ni kognitif. Kat belakang ni banyaklah processing lain. Kita ada long term memory, short term memory semua kan. Okay, kat depan ni. Tu yang kalau kadang-kadang penat berfikir tu, sakit kepala sebagainya kan, kat bahagian depan ni. A lot of thinking process. Lepas tu last kita pun macam ni. Betul lah?
Dah hilang rambut kat depan.
Itulah dia. Saya pun nak sebut juga tu. Saya ni sebab pakai tudung je ni. Dahi saya pun luas. Sebab banyak berfikir. Betul Syamil. Saya tak menafikan. Okay. But anyway, cognitive flexibility. Yes, you must be able to cognitively, flexibly decide on things. Ini adalah keperluan dunia hari ini. Kalau anak kita hanya boleh, dia tak boleh nak buat decision there and then. Dia kena tunggu, terkedip, mata dia terkedip. That is dangerous. Dia mesti very quick. Dia mesti boleh adapt. Sebab kita bercakap tentang resiliency. daya tahan diri yang tinggi. Dia tak boleh daya tahan diri yang tinggi tapi tak ada cognitive flexibility. Dia tak seimbang. Dia kena ada dua-dua. So if you look at this picture, it's about having that changes happening, modifying at the same time, transitioning, and then transforming, and then shift, and then adjust, and then new, and transform lagi, modify lagi, transition, shift. Saya yakin ibu bapa sekalian, anda bekerja hari ini dan anda berada dalam ruang seperti ini. Apa yang saya buat adalah ini. It's forever changing and changing and changing and changing. Sebab kita buat pendidikan yang kita explore, pendidikan yang cara lain daripada yang lain. So I have to modify very quick. I have to be very, very alert of the students in my school. If there's things like this, what do I do? Going back to this, flexibility, cognitive flexibility. What do I do? What do I do? I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to decide this, I have to transform, I have to shift, I have to adjust. And then bila kata adjust, modify, whatever ni, kita kena training the teachers right there and then. That's why Telegram tu sangat bising lah untuk saya. Dia every now and then bagi arahan kat sini, bagi arahan kat situ, bagi cadangan di sini, cadangan di sana. Okay. How are these with our children? Are we preparing them towards this ability of kita nak resilience yang tinggi? Are they adaptive? Are they flexible? Flexible as in, saya bagi contoh. Hari ni mami sibuk main balik pukul 8 malam. Esok mami balik pukul 4. Mami ambil awal. Lusa mami balik pukul 10. So awak kena duduk dengan cikgu kidokeh sekejap. Contoh. Ataupun penjaga daripada kidokeh. Lusa pula mak kena hantar awak pergi rumah nenek lah. That flexibility. Not easy kan? Kalut kan? Because with children, you're talking about routines. Children needs routines. How does this work with them? They can adapt to routine. Are they flexible? How do you balance the two? Because you're talking about resiliency. Contoh, dekat rumah, mak ayah dah jaga baik ni. Pergi sekolah kena bully. Resiliency macam mana? Adaptif dia macam mana? Nak jaga diri dia macam mana? Sebab nak membina resiliency ni, flexibility mereka bagaimana? In terms of fitting in to a different environment. You can't always be there for your children. You cannot be a helicopter parent. You cannot. Adakah sampai mereka kahwin dah beranak pinak pun kita masih lagi sibuk nak jaga anak? No, you cannot. At one point, you have to let them go. So all these skills need to be done now. Now. Tak ada masa lain, but now. So this is part of your homework, parents. And how do you do this? Going back to the first point, positive relationship, which the underlying foundation dia adalah bercakap dengan anak, communicate dengan anak, discuss dengan anak, discuss isu semasa, discuss dekat parlimen baru-baru ni bergaduh bagi nak rak. Kenapa boleh bergaduh? Komunikasi je tu. Going back to basic, komunikasi. Kenapa isu-isu semasa ini berlaku? Kenapa berlaku truck yang bawa pasir tu, langgar motor 2 tu? Yang sampai meninggal yang 2 penunggang motosikal dekat Putrajaya baru ni. What is going on? You know, ajak kepada berfikir, berbincang bersama-sama. Sebab kalau kita takut, sampai bila kita nak protect anak bawah tempurung? You cannot do that. You must get them to be as adaptive as possible and cognitive flexibility. Jangan rencatkan pemikiran mereka dengan hanya memberi ataupun train otak mereka untuk menerima sahaja input. It has to be a two-way communication in which you are that person yang akan communicate with your child. So two-way communication ya, jangan train the brain to only receive information because they're human being, they're not robots. Robots hanya terima arahan. Anak-anak kita bukan robot. Okay, next. Sense of purpose and meaning. You must share or speak or talk or discuss with your children about this. You're talking about resiliency. You nak build resiliency in our children. They must understand their sense of purpose. Okay, and the meaning of it. Contoh, anak saya tanya saya soalan. Mami, kenapa lahirkan Ian anak yang last? Kenapa Mami tak lahirkan Ian anak yang sulung? Tak fair lah macam ni. Allahu Akbar. That's a very tough question for me. Macam mana nak jawab? Senang je nak jawab tu. Tak ada masalah. Tapi I'm just sharing with all of you so that you know. I am a normal mother juga. I have all these things juga. Okay, so how do I talk to him? How do I make sense of his purpose? Why is he the fifth in his siblings? What is the meaning out of it? Setiap anak tu adalah function-function dia. Being the first. Tak semestinya being the first, dia kena jadi adult terlalu awal. Sebab ramai parenting kita hari ini meletakkan tanggungjawab homework tu homework mak ayah tapi letak ke anak sulung. Ramai. Berat. Dia pun nak fun-fun juga dengan kawan-kawan dia, tapi dia kena jaga adik. Dia kena tu, dia kena ni, dia kena basuh pampers adik, dia kena make sure adik tidur awal. Dah berubah rupanya, mak ayah tu dah jadi anak sulung tu jadi mak ayah juga. Don't do that mistake. Setiap anak kita mesti kenal pasti sense of purpose mereka tu apa, the meaning of it apa. Find your purpose. Bantu anak kita understand the purpose of them being as a human being ni in this world. What is it? What is it? Yang mana beragama, gunakan agama. Sense of purpose kita dari sudut agama apa? Why? Okay? And the meaning of it. So this is actually very important and mesti dia all terkejut. Macam nak cakap sense of purpose dengan anak-anak? Boleh sebagai manusia. Apa dia? You know, nak cakap pasal resiliency ni, kenapa kena daya tahan diri yang kuat, Mami? Penting sangat ke resiliency? Oh, penting. Dunia kita penuh dengan sarcasm and narcissism. Macam mana nak daya tahan diri? The comments on YouTube ke, Facebook ke, IG ke, sometimes very harsh. How are you going to face those? Are you going to read all these comments? Are you just going to tutup sebelah mata, jangan baca komen, jalan terus? What are you going to do with it? And then when people give you feedbacks while you are playing games, you know, live streaming, and then orang cakap macam-macam, daya tahan diri you macam mana bila orang tu cakap macam-macam? Kalau cakap tu benda baik, tak apa. Kalau cakap tu benda yang macam memang sarcasm and narcissism, how do you survive? Sebab tu banyak kes bully dalam, cyberbullying dan sebagainya. Yang membuli itu pun ada isu-isu seperti ini. Sebab tu dia membuli, dia nak get on someone else pula. Sebab dia dah kena. You know, nak membalas. It's a chain. Jadi, to know the sense of purpose. If you want to go online, you must understand. There's a lot of these things happening. Are you ready? You know, ni belum bercakap pasal porn. Ini belum bercakap pasal all this benda-benda yang tak elok, tak senonoh keluar. How are you going to talk? How are you going to explain this to your children, to our children? Sense of purpose, your purpose of being online, apa dia? What's the meaning of you being online? You want to look for information? Go ahead, Mami tak kata apa-apa. But if your sense of purpose of being online in the digital world is just to get entertainment, okay? Then you have to revisit your purpose. Why are you there? Because there's a lot of these things and Mami tak boleh sentiasa like helicopter parenting, be there with you and protect you all the time. I can't do that. Yes, there are apps that can tapis all these things, but these apps are not human beings. They can't explain it back to you. You know, so you have to really understand what is this. They have to really understand juga. They have to find their purpose of being in the digital world from another angle, yeah? Okay, and then optimism and positive outlook. What does it mean by optimism? I'm not talking about being so optimistic sampai terlupa realistik, tidak ya. But I'm talking about this optimism element yang masih penting dalam membina diri and the positive outlook out of it. So think positive as in dalam proses nak membina anak, resiliensi dan sebagainya, kita nak ke arah apa? Jangan terkejut dalam proses membina resiliensi, there's a lot of up and downs kan? So banyak down. Think positive about it. It's a process. We are all a work in progress. We're not perfect. Parents, mom and dad, or educators, we are not perfect. We are like every day improving ourselves. Saya suka sebut Kaizen, continuously improve. Yang mana berpegang kepada agama. Only God is perfect. You are not, because we are created by God and to be tested atas bumi ini untuk make sure kita boleh bina diri kita seterusnya. Ujian akan sentiasa datang. So to think positive, maksud optimism di sini adalah to be able to think positive. So nak membina resilience diri tu, how are we in terms of doing this? Are we able to role model this to our children? Kita down ni, sedih ni, bos marah ni, balik rumah anak tengok monyok, kita marah anak. That's not a good role model. You tempias dekat anak. You know, you burst pada mereka. That's not good. If you want to show a good role model, that optimism is needed in you to be able to role model this to your children so that your children nampak you macam, oh ya ke, mami kena marah dengan bos, habis tu mami fikir macam mana, mami rasa apa. Itulah, mami penat sebenarnya, mami memang sedih. You know, self-regulation, emotional regulation, positive relationship, you're able to speak to your children and then you think positive. Memang mami salah pun tadi, mami sepatutnya buat macam, jangan play victim. Itulah bos ni, dia lah tak betul. Mami je betul. Contoh, don't do that please. Be realistic. Not that optimistic yang salah ya. Optimism is needed to make sure that you're taking it positively sebagainya. Tetapi tidaklah sampai membuatkan you rasa besar diri macam you je yang betul everything. No. Look into it, always reflect on it. Like, mami pun ada buat salah juga, sebab tu lah bos tu marah. Tapi mami sedih lah sebab dia marah tu, mami tak ready, contoh. Talk openly, mengaku yang kita memang ada partnya kita salah, contohnya. So this is one of the process, yeah, being optimism, to have this optimism in us and to show that positive outlook tu. Being motivated, strong, bukan kata tunjuk je strong, tapi dalam diri tengah bergundah gulana ni and kita mengabaikan perasaan dalam diri tu. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're sad, you say you're sad. Kita tak boleh forever masking depan anak kita because nanti kita akan lahirkan anak-anak yang banyak masking juga. We don't want to do masking. Masking ni macam hiding away from all these issues that you're having in yourself. Okay, so that point, yeah. Okay, and then sense of mastery and competence. Sekejap ya, you all say minum air tak?
Doktor, if doktor nak break ke apa, just inform. Takut nanti
Okay, tak apa.
kalau
Okay, minum air je jap. Thank you,
boleh.
Syamil. Okay, so next point, sense of mastery and competence. What does it mean? What does it mean? Sense of mastery, apa dia? I find this very interesting. So I found this dekat innovation training. Menarik lah, mungkin Skolar Academy wants to take this up, talking about 4 stages of competence. What does it mean? So kita ni dalam sedar tak sedar, there's 4 stages of this talking about competence. Kita ni competent ke tak? Unconscious incompetence, when you are unaware of the skill and your lack of proficiency. Okay, I'm just going to read it out dulu ya. Conscious incompetence. Kita conscious ni of our incompetence. You are aware of the skill, but you're not yet proficient. You're still working on it. And then you're talking about the third stage yang ke atas warna kuning, conscious competence. You are able to use the skill, but only with effort. Dan atas sekali, unconscious competence, performing the skill becomes automatic. So sense of mastery and competence, what does it mean? How does it relate to building this resiliency for our young children? What does it mean? Okay, so so going back to this competence, kita cakap pasal kebolehan anak-anak kita dalam sesuatu perkara. Kita bercakap tentang contoh. You're talking about resiliency and you're talking about digital world. The competence of them being able to control their whereabouts in the digital world. If they are very, very unconscious competence, performing the skill becomes automatic. They know when to put a full stop. They know, alamak, iklan dah mengarut dan ni, pop, tutup YouTube terus. Contoh ya, contoh. That's very unconscious competence. Kita nak bergerak ke arah tu. Tetapi of course, it's a process. So you will start from the bottom, going up slowly. So anak-anak kecil-kecil yang belum mampu, belum boleh berfikir, belum orang kata, akal dia tak sampai, akal dia belum cantik terbentuk. The unconscious incompetence will always be there. You are unaware of the skill and your lack of proficiency. Parents, you are so much needed at this most bottom layer. So they are not able to yet. Okay, and then slowly bila kita dah ajar dia, okay, be careful. Bila you tengok YouTube ni tiba-tiba keluar iklan yang seksi-seksi, buat bunyi macam-macam, you know, yang obscene sikit ke, yang tak sesuai ke, you know, you're still teaching them this conscious incompetence. Dia aware dah ni, tapi dia tak proficient lagi. Maksudnya akan adalah terkeluar-keluar sikit-sikit tu. Sebab dia tak competent betul-betul lagi. Tapi dia conscious ni, mami tadi ada. Mami tadi ada, you know, to be able to see that. But if dia ada verbal boleh cakap dengan kita, Berapa ramai hari ini kerana kerana internet, kerana digital world tu membuatkan mereka speech delay. Ramai. Yang mana memang ada kelebihan word intelligence, for example, ya, kita bercakap tentang 9 multiple intelligence. Dia memang dah dilahirkan word competence, tak ada isu dengan perkataan. Dia boleh bercakap. Tapi berapa ramai pula anak-anak yang tidak ada word intelligence, dia tak boleh nak bercakap lagi, tapi dia tengok je, tengok, literally tengok, and things are going in. And God knows, the dopamine ke atas ni activated. Oh God, I want more. But you're not able to stop it. Conscious incompetence, dia tak boleh pun nak cakap. So dia mungkin aware, tak aware, mungkin dia drop juga dekat level paling bawah. Unconscious tu, they are not able to. Okay, so the yellow one, conscious competence, you're able to use the skill, but only with effort. Kalau dia nak stop, kalau dia tengok tu dia makin shock, dia akan stop tak? Dia tak stop lah. Tak ada effort pun. I want to watch. I'm conscious. This is nice. This is sexy. I like dopamine. It's a food to the dopamine. Kejap lagi ketagih. Habis. Ni saya cakap tentang porn dan sebagainya lah. So parents, be careful here. You have to be very, very conscious in all of this. So conscious parenting tu ya, sangat real, sangat penting. Tetapi too conscious pun, dia fall kepada too helicopter parenting sangat. Terlalu controlling tu. Everything you tengok. Everything yes, no. Tu pun penat juga parents. So saya suka #relax parenting. Relaxed as in, you banyak bercakap dengan anak, you dah lay out the foundation cantik, you dah bina, macam KLCC tahu tak berapa lama nak bina foundation dia? Do you know? 2 years, 2 tahun nak bina cocok dalam bumi tu je. 2 tahun sebelum dia bina sampai berapa tingkat, 88 tingkat ke? You know, so the process is there. The process is needed. If you've not done this before, you have to start today. Now. You don't talk about semalam lah. You talk about today onwards. Today, tomorrow, apa kita boleh buat? But not to worry too much of tomorrow because it's not within your control. You cannot do God's job. You tak boleh buat kerja Tuhan. It's out of your control. You can only prepare your children today. That's why. Do your best today. Provide them the best communication, content, talk to them, discussion today. Because malam is already history. Dah tak boleh nak patah balik dah. Nak menyesal yang semalam pun dah tak sempat dah. But today onwards, kalau belum buat, kita buat hari ini. So be aware of these 4 stages of competence. Sebenarnya untuk diri kita juga ya. Where are we? Are we conscious parent? Are we conscious incompetence? Are we unconscious incompetence? What is it? Okay, and then anak-anak kita memerlukan these coping strategies. Contoh, stress. What do? Take a break, relax, tarik nafas, chill sekejap, pergi minum air, that kind of thing to know what are the coping strategies. So these are some examples of coping skills for kids. Ada anak-anak yang memang dia boleh keluarkan dalam bentuk arts. Contoh, dia tengah stress, dia gunakan color biru ke apa, mami, I feel this. So they just scribble warna biru. I feel this. Why is it blue? Because I'm sad. I'm just like sadness. Dalam cerita inside out. I don't like it. I don't like this feeling. I don't know what to do. To be able to say that, label the feeling. This is part of the emotional regulation, yeah? Coping skills for kids to do the positive self-talk. Yang mana memang ada word smart ataupun word intelligence, tak ada masalah nak bercakap. Tetapi kalau dia ada speech delay, dia nak bercakap pun tak boleh. Nak positive self-talk pun tak boleh. Okay, so yes, coping skills. Ada anak yang memang boleh bercakap, Mami, am I doing this right? Dia tahu dah jawapan dia. But they need affirmation from you. They need confirmation or acknowledgement from you. Just say yes. Tak payahlah perli dan sebagainya. Sebab dalam masyarakat kita sangat famous dengan suka perli-perli anak. Perli-perli balik. Bukan anak je, kawan dan sebagainya. Sip-sip perli. Untunglah. Baguslah. Macamlah dia seorang je boleh buat. Orang lain pun boleh buat juga. That kind of thing. Stop doing all this perli-perli nonsense. Saya pun tak berapa berkenan. It's not nice. Okay. Maybe it's needed in certain cases, but not with our children. I don't think so. With our children, dah banyak point dah saya bagi tadi. this. They're talking about this optimism. Perli-perli bukan optimism, bukan positive. It will not give a very good positive outlook pun. It's a negative outlook terus. Okay. So, apa lagi? Artwork. Ada anak-anak pandai melukis untuk menunjukkan the coping skill. Dia perlukan some artwork. Dia perlukan some creativity. Ada yang go for physical. Macam kita lah. Yang mana stress-stress pergi spa. Ada tak yang lelaki pergi spa? Ada. Why not? Urut-urut badan. You must take care of yourself first. You can't ignore this. If you're husband and wife, you have to give chance to each other. Tak apalah, wife I penat sangat duduk rumah. She is a housewife, but she does a lot of things compared to me. Contoh, you mengaku benda tu. Give your wife some time off. Go yoga, ke go somewhere, ke go and reward yourself. So coping skills for kids, children yang memerlukan physical, dia akan go for physical thingy. And then breathing exercise, reading, playing game, there's a lot of things lah coping skill. Contohnya begitu. So bergerak ke arah building resiliency, daya ketahanan diri yang tinggi, dia mesti boleh ada coping strategies. And coping strategies tak boleh satu je, dia kena pelbagai. So again, going back to flexible tak dia dalam mencari coping mechanism pada ketika itu. Yang ada di sekeliling dia ada benda tu je. Itu je dia boleh buat. Nak bergerak tak boleh bergerak ni. Tapi dia kena duduk setempat. Apa dia boleh buat? Okay? What kind of flexibility can this child do in terms of coping? Sebab dia nak membina resiliensi tinggi, resiliensi diri yang tinggi. Next, empathy and social skills. Yeah, this is already slide number 27. Okay, we're on time. So, empathy and social skills sangat penting. Dalam dunia digital ni, empathy ni banyak ditarik. It's being taken away. You know, because there's a lot of narcissism and sarcasm. Banyak, sangat. Sehingga empathy menjadi sangat sedikit. Tambahan pula kita hari ini dalam dunia penuh AI. AI is taking over, is it not? Are we more powerful than AI or AI is taking over our life? What is happening? So do think about this. Anak kita kalau kecil lagi, esok dia besar, AI itu dah macam mana? Do you know that I found this reading material yang mengatakan by 2030, you can create a movie by yourself. Dah tak payah, masa tu dah tak, Netflix pun dah tak laku dah. So you can make your own. Now it's getting ready towards that already. Dah start dah. You tahu kan ada kes-kes pelakon dipanggil untuk berlakon, episod ketiga ke keempat menjadi isu yang besar sebenarnya. And then bila dia berlakon tu, sebenarnya orang-orang belakang ni, dia ambil pergerakan AI tu, pergerakan poin-poin pada setiap badan, dia panggil sekali saja untuk melakukan beberapa aksi, beberapa aksi, record that. Okay, you don't have to come anymore. And this pelakon was like, why? Oh, we've just recorded your AI movement. We're going to create the movie without you. Save cost. Gila tak gila? Itu dunia AI hari ini. By 2030, all of you, 57 of you listening, will be able to create your own movie dah. Wayang, laku ke tak laku? Selepas PKP, what do we see? The wayang industry, berapa banyak wayang tutup? Berapa banyak movie yang masuk bila Netflix dah famous? Netflix pun mampu bayar billboard untuk iklankan cerita Netflix. You perasan tak all these things happening around you? What is going on in the world is changing. Where is empathy? Is it still there? I'm going to ask you this. If you don't speak to your children today, providing all these important elements and skills in them, empathy will just go away. So you're talking about social skills? Kalau tak ada empathy, social skills pun kacau. Empathy adalah asas kepada social skills. So if I can share with you ni, okay, this is good. So I share with all of you. What you need to do, practice role playing with them. You have to show to them. How do you do good listening? How do you give feedback? How do you show your empathy? How do you act when someone is angry? How do you calm down one of the siblings because rage dan sebagainya? What do you do? How do you show it? So ni antara ideas to help you. Saya tak pergilah satu-satu, but you can screenshot, you can read about it further. Okay, so saya suka yang to encourage your children to ask questions. Do that. Don't put them off. Don't say yes or no sahaja. Invite them to a good discussion so that the proses dalam otak mereka adalah in and out, in and out, in and out. Not just input going in. Ini yang saya selalu kata spoon feeding system tu. You spoon feed and spoon feed and spoon feed and you expect the brain works like a sponge. It does not work like that. It's just a myth. The brain ada limitation. If the information that goes into the brain is not being used after 2 weeks, it will just being thrown in the rubbish bin. Just like dalam cerita Inside Out, a lot of that grey balls, dia jadi grey. Sebab not functioning. So it goes back to the sense of meaning and purpose. If it's not meaningful for the brain, it will not be kept. Not even in the short-term memory, what more long-term memory. Until the information is very useful to them and they feel like, this is a good memory, I'm going to keep this. It's going to stay longer than after 2 weeks, kan? It's going to stay longer and the brain will decide, this is a good memory. I'm going to color it gold. I'm going to keep it somewhere very important and it's going to go into long-term memory. Just like dalam cerita Inside Out. If you forgot how the movie is, please rewatch. It will share with you what is going on in the brain. And all this empathy is building the child's self-concept. Saya tak masuk self-concept lebih mendalam ya. Self-concept adalah personality anak tadi yang macam mana dia nak jadi. Dia akan jadi seorang anak yang sarkastik ke sebab sekeliling dia always sarcasm. Dia akan jadi seorang anak yang penuh empathy, kesian ke orang ke sebab mak ayah dia selalu bercakap tentang tengoklah orang tu rajin, dia jual buah dekat tepi-tepi traffic light. Should we buy? Do we want to help? Do you want to buy? Or not today, maybe tomorrow? You know, to be able to speak on things like this, to teach empathy. Itulah dia starting of a good social skills. Bukan membuli. Membuli datang apabila benda-benda tak dapat. Dia akan start keluar dengan behavior. Then, next. Sense of security. We got 2 more points left. On time. By 10 nanti kita boleh buka lah kalau ada question kan. Saya nampak banyak dekat chat tu tapi saya tak boleh nak buka. Okay. So sense of safety and security. Very, 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 very important element. Kalau tidak ada perkara ini, confident pun tak ada dalam diri anak. Dia nak hidup dalam dunia yang penuh mencabar juga, dia akan rasa sentiasa tidak safe. Again, I want to remind all of you parents, you cannot forever helicopter parent your children. You must read more about parenting styles. Saya selalu sebut, it has to be authoritative, not authoritarian. Authoritarian saya selalu gambarkan sebagai askar, hanya memberi arahan sahaja, ataupun authorities, ya, memberi arahan sahaja dan mengharapkan dengar dan ikut. A parent cannot act just like that because that's exactly to how the screen works, giving you input, not teaching the brain to process. Somehow the brain learns this is how the pattern is like. I'm a human person. I just keluar daripada perut mami. And kat dunia ni senang je. Input masuk je. Input masuk. I don't have to do anything. I can just relax and everything will be done for me. You know, the brain learns it that way. Pernah tak tengok kartun Wall-E? Pernah tak tengok kartun Wall-E?
Pernah, cerita lama tu.
Pasal robot kan?
Robot kecil yang comel tu.
Ya, apa jadi dekat manusia-manusia dekat Earth yang telah dipindahkan ke planet luar? Ingat tak?
Tak
Syamil?
ingat.
Okay, tak apa.
ingat.
It's okay. Manusia-manusia ni keluar daripada Earth sebab Earth dah terlalu teruk, kotor dan sebagainya, dipindahkan ke satu planet, kerja diorang duduk kat kerusi je. Kerusi tu je yang bergerak. Kaki dah tak function, otak pun lemah. Yang buat kerja tu semua adalah AI ataupun robot. Wall-E. Cerita tu banyak maksud dia. Kalau ada masa, tolong tengok balik. Kesiannya manusia-manusia tu, are we going to be like that? Because today, the world is just like that, teaching us towards that. Okay, towards that kind of world in which we only receive input. We don't know how to give output. Lagi teruk bila digital world today mengajar anak kita hanya untuk menerima sebab kita tonton. Tengok je. One way input je, one way communication je, tak perlukan output, brain malas nak berfikir, maka pergi sekolah, attention span yang dulunya boleh 11 minit, hari ini 4 saat, tengok cikgu 4 saat dah keluar, tengok 4 saat dah keluar, tengok mami 4 saat, mami ni kenapa tak gerak-gerak, pelik betul lah. Because the brain is learning, real world is in the screen. Bahayanya digital world. Dia nak resiliency. This is the asas tau. The asas is that, the foundation is that anak tadi belajar bahawa benda yang sangat exciting is in the screen. Out here is very boring. Semua kaku, semua tak bergerak. That's why naik kereta pun sibuk dengan tablet dan sebagainya. Tak ada nak mengamatinya. Hutan yang cantik, belantara, pokok-pokok ni ada dekat sini je. Tak ada kat tempat lain. Tak ada. And I'm going towards sense of safety and security. You rasa safe tak duduk kat dunia luar? If that's how your life has been like. No, you don't feel safe. You feel safe only by watching whatever is in the screen. Macam dalam cerita Wall-E. Manusia-manusia yang sangat pemalas, kaki dah tak boleh bergerak, badan makin membesar, duduk je atas kursi, everything is being done by robots and machine. Duduk je lah, masuk mulut makan, suap. Here, not functioning. And today, because of this digital whatever is going on, berapa ramai ADHD, berapa ramai problem-problem yang ada. Ni kalau saya sebutkan sensitif juga. Berapa ramai yang kita mengautismkan anak. Bukan anak tu lahir-lahir autism, kita yang sengaja mengautismkan sebab kita dah rencatkan otak mereka. Don't deny me. There's a lot of research out there that has been saying the same thing. Kita yang telah merencatkan otak anak-anak kita dengan memberikan all this digital world, but we are not there to parent the children. So this digital world has become the bibit, the new bibit to them. Senang, pergi mall, letak phone. Aduh, saya dah sampai satu tahap yang I don't want to say anything dah. Because I've been saying the same thing again and again daripada 2014. Penat dah nak cakap. Kita tengok je lah. Okay, dan sebab saya buat sekolah, okay, ramainya yang masuk dalam keadaan macam ni. A lot of problems, termasuklah emotional regulation pun tak boleh buat. 4 years old still on Pampers, 4 years old still tak boleh nak regulate emotion. You know, there's a lot of issues. And as I predicted when I first started my kindergarten, the first to saya kata dah peratusan ini akan naik jika parents tidak sedar apa yang sedang berlaku di dunia ini. So please be aware of all this. So going back to the sense of safety and security, our children, where are they? Do you give this? Yes, you provide them food, you provide them sleep, good sleep, home. Breathing ni tak payah risau dah. Tuhan dah buat kerja dia. Oksigen semua ada. Tapi selagi ada, dengan ozone layer yang semakin menipis, dengan whatever issues that we have in the world right now, slowly maybe oksigen pun makin kurang. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But maybe. Safety and security number 2. How are we in terms of giving this to our children? Family, health, property. Because as a human person, these are our needs. Kalau number 1 tak ada, physiological needs tak ada, number 2 pun kurang, number 3 pun kurang kasih sayang sebab kita tak bercakap dengan anak kita, tak mengajar positive relationship with them. The self-esteem is not even going to be there. Bila self-esteem tak ada, self-confidence tadi kita dah tengok kan? Self-confidence tak ada, self-efficacy semua tak ada. How are you going to even reach self-actualization? And all of this, self-actualization lah di mana akan berlakunya resiliency yang kita sebutkan tadi. So, kalau di sini penerangan self-actualization tu ada problem solving. So, are you able to solve problem? Are you able to not judge people? Are you able to think secara empathy? Are you able to have a good social skill? Tak balas dendam ke orang simply. Sebab you okay. Your emotion regulation is good. How are you in terms of accepting? When people comment to you, they meant good. You tak senang reaktif dan patah balik ataupun marah balik. Because you're able to receive. Okay, and you're able to speak to them nicely, beautifully. So, all of this sangat berkait rapat. Alright, so You're going back to this sense of safety and security. Bila kita bercakap tentang building resiliency, this is one of the most important component ya. Kalau anak kita tak rasa selamat di rumah, tidak rasa selamat dengan anda. Contoh kita ada banyak kes-kes kan, memang dia jadi, I was just speaking about this morning kan. Bila kita sebagai cikgu, kita nak membina balik positive relationship yang baik dengan anak-anak murid cicir tadi. Kita tetap orang luar. You know, yang paling dekat dengan mereka yang automatically the child will automatically trust you is the parents lah. Sebab dia lahir-lahir, mak ayah dia nampak dulu. Automatically the trust is there. You bayangkan dalam dunia hari ini berapa ramai yang mengambil kesempatan atas anak sendiri. Secara seksual, secara abusive dan sebagainya. And this child put all the trust that they have with you, safety and security, you first. Tapi you mengambil kesempatan atas mereka. That is a huge problem already. The moment itu terganggu, the rest of it just shut down. So imagine when kita jumpa murid cici tadi, what makes them shut down in terms of learning process? They don't want to learn dah sebab labeling is a lot on them. Diorang di kelas pemulihan, diorang tak pandai, diorang itu, diorang ini. You know, belum lagi menggunakan perkataan seperti bodoh. You know, dia dah ada all these things. Dia dah tak rasa safe dah. It's a hard work for me and my team to open them up balik. Aktivitis mudah saja, menulis nama. Daripada hanya menulis nama, kita nampak siapa yakin, siapa tak yakin. Siapa yang takut-takut, siapa yang berani. Bila mereka dapat pujian, reaction mereka adalah, mereka terkejut dapat pujian. Why? Why? So it gives us a lot of like, saya pesan kepada semua facilitator, saya kata do not absorb, please have a very good boundaries, do not absorb, you watch, you look, you hold, but that's it. Don't absorb, because once you absorb, you rasa. Bila you rasa, dia kacau. Yes. So going back to safety and security, dia tak kenal kita, dia tak ada bonding dengan kita. You bayangkan anak you kenal you, anak you ada bonding with you. But when you are not there for them, you're always not there for them. They don't feel safe with you. But automatically safety tu datang sebab hanya kerana you adalah mak ayah mereka. So part of this resiliency is the sense of safety and security yang baik. But what does it mean? When you keep on providing and supporting this through your positive relationship with them, it will memperkukuhkan all this layer dekat bawah. Tadi saya tunjukkan gambar di awal-awal, jika tidak menjaga foundation dengan baik, mudahnya roboh. You bayangkan number 1, number 2 tidak strong, tapi kita mengharapkan dia pandai belajar nombor 5 contoh ya. Do you think they will survive? Do you think the resiliency is there? No. This child will easily topple. This child will topple mungkin at the age of 35, at the age of 40. Maybe this child is you. Kenapa I rasa stress? Kenapa ya I anxiety? Kenapa I kena jumpa therapist? Why is this happening? You look back at your number 1, number 2, number 3. Where is it? If you think you have that problem, go and see therapist. Okay, so I'm speaking from a lot of angle ni, Miasa Malaysia, because I'm the one of the person in it, from the schools that I'm making, because this is what I see when building the school. These 3 points kat bawah sangat-sangat penting untuk kita make sure the child is good. And I know di sekolah-sekolah biasa tak ada masa nak tackle all these things. Be extra aware and extra alert. All of this information, bila you connect the dots, it's equally important. And finally, before I end my session, it's 10:04. Self-reflection and learning from experience is very important, not just for you, but for your children. Teach your children to reflect on things. Reflect tu maksudnya boleh mudah dilakukan dalam bentuk perbincangan. Berbincang dengan anak. Jom kita reflect. Tadi kan mami terlost control lah. Mami terhon dekat orang, termarah. I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good. What do you think? Yalah mami, why ya? Why did you hon? I was so angry just now, you know. I was so angry, but I know it's not good lah. I should not do that, you know. Untuk mengaku. It's not like when you're a parent, you always have to be at the top. Sometimes you just lower yourself down, bincang dengan anak. And it doesn't remove you from being a parent to them pun. Dia bukanlah macam you jadi kawan kat diorang forever jadi kawan, tak juga. Sometimes you still have to act as a mom and dad. Mereka memang kena belajar, kena hormat mak ayah. You know, so it doesn't mean that when you bring yourself down that you're forever like anak boleh pijak kepala you. Tidak ya. But to be able to role model to your children that sometimes you're normal human being, sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you lost some part of you easily by doing rage dan sebagainya, marah, you know, mengaku and reflect together. I know I should not have that fight with my, with your father, this is not good. It's not good for you to see this, but somehow it just happened and I couldn't control it. So children, when they learn from you, learning from experience, wow, inilah antara yang akan memperkukuhkan lagi foundation tadi untuk membina resiliensi yang sangat-sangat tinggi dalam anak. So let me just summarize this with, we do not learn from experience, you guys. We're not learning from experience. We do not learn from experience, but we learn from reflecting on experience. Okay, so we can reflect on the past, but don't drag them along sampai kita tak boleh nak move on, yang dah lepas-lepas. But we learn by reflecting on I made mistake before. I did this before. How I wish not how I wish, I wish I did not do, I wish that I can control myself, that I will not repeat this again. We learn from reflecting from the experience. So with that, I end my session, and yes, let's open for some questions and answer. But I'm going to go back to slide yang awal yang ada list of things so that you are able to see. These are the things that we tackled today. Daripada positive relationships kepada self-reflection and learning from experience, membawa kepada tajuk asal, raising resilient kids in the digital world. I hope that helps. You can start with any tips here. Work on it. If you don't have it, learn it. Seek for information, seek for knowledge, and practice it. Please remember, we are a work in progress. We're not perfect, but we're working on making ourselves better in order to build a much more resilient children dalam community kita bersama. Okay, itu saja pada saya, Aini and Syamil. Thank you so much. Yes, let's see if we have question. I'm going to leave here the slide as this.
Terima kasih Dr. Putri Afzan Maria. #relax parenting. You cannot do God jobs, do today and onwards, lakukan yang terbaik. Sangat menarik bagi saya ya, pada hari ini masyarakat kita ni dia kurang kesedaran. Mungkin sebab kita dah biasa dengan yang sebelum-sebelum ni kan. Parent kita mungkin dia keras. Kenapa dia keras? Sebab pengalaman dia sebelum-sebelum ni, nenek moyang kita. Jadi ada parent kita yang dah sedar, yang membawa kita kena bagi love. Dan daripada situlah datangnya anak-anak yang lahir pada segi empathy diorang tinggi. Okay, saya nak highlight satu sharing daripada Puan Hidayah Kamarudin. Dia kata anak saya ada tampal 4 muka perasaan dia macam spin off wheel. Okay, contoh kalau dia macam sad ke happy ke, dia akan pusingkan jarum untuk bagi tahu perasaan dia. Di mana dengan inside out tu, cerita inside out tu sangat related lah. Jadi kita as a mom or dad, kita akan aware apa anak-anak kita rasa. Alright, terima kasih Dr. Putri. Kita teruskan dengan Q&A boleh? Okay, soalan yang pertama daripada Puan atau Cik Umu Adenin. Kalau bawa anak pergi camp in natural hutan, how to implement resilient? Silakan Dr. Putri.
Okay, jawapan saya berbalik pada yang asal tadi. Banyakkan berkomunikasi dengan anak. Apa yang kita boleh selitkan dalam komunikasi tersebut? So kalau kita gabung semua ni, the positive relationship kita bawa dalam nature kan, kita nak build resiliency. Are you going to always be there to save your children when they fall? Or are you going to just allow them to fall and bangun sendiri? As long as it's not going to danger or orang kata fatal accident ke, kita tak naklah benda macam tu kan. Kita tahulah benda tu kalau memang bahaya, of course we will provide. Tak adalah kita biar dia duduk kat edge of the tebing ke apa, taklah macam tu. Tetapi to be aware that if it's a safe fall, allow your children to feel the fall. Allow your children to, bangkit sendiri. Dalam nature lah paling mudah sekali kita nak buat benda-benda ni. Tapi janganlah pergi kat tempat nature yang tak pernah ada orang tebang pokok ataupun buat laluan dan sebagainya. Kita sendiri pun tak pernah explore tempat tu, tiba-tiba kita pergi. Itu bahaya. So I'm sure you're going to bring your children to a safe place where it has been explored by others. You bring them to exploring the woods, the leaves dan sebagainya. Talk about it. As simple as reflecting on the kind of insects yang ada di situ. Cakap pasal resiliency, paling mudah, semut. What can you learn from semut and resiliency dalam hutan? If you kacau dia punya pathway, what would the semut do? Create a new pathway? Attack you? Resiliency. There's a lot of reflection that you can do. But this is the thing. Kita kena tajamkan skill reflection kita supaya kita boleh relate. Bila kita bercakap, kita relate. Kita bercakap, kita relate. Okay, so this is one of the method yang kita boleh pakai. Dan selain benda ni bukan hanya dalam nature, di mana-mana sahaja. Dalam kereta, tengah bawa kereta dalam traffic jam, dekat mall, dekat market. There's a lot of things that you can talk about in building resiliency. Tadi kan slide yang last sekali kan cakap pasal we don't learn from experience, but we learn from the reflection of the experience. So you are reflecting on things that is happening. So your children are not learning from the experience, but learning from the reflection of you communicating with the child, because satu positive relationship dah ada, you bercakap. Yang kedua, at the same time, it's also emotional regulation. Your child is worried contohnya, ataupun you are worried. So through your communicating, you're actually helping to regulate the emotion. Ingat ya, tips saya bila bercakap, jangan cakap laju-laju. Itu anxiety dah tu. You cakap dengan satu perkataan. Itu maksud saya dengan emotional regulation, because you cakap dengan tenang. Step by step. And we're talking about that in whatever situation we are in, there's always this problem solving skill. So dalam hutan, bila dia jatuh, problem solving skill. Cuba bangun sendiri. Cuba belajar macam nak panjat. Kalau tanah tu kita nak pijak tu, it's 90 degrees, for example. How do you panjat? How do you solve that problem? You mesti nak berpaut pada sesuatu, contohnya. So that is already problem solved. That is already resilience. Resiliency lah, basically. So itu contohnya. I hope that helps. And the rest is you just connect the dots.
Baik, soalan yang kedua daripada Puan atau Cik Harmimi. Dia tanya, overthinking parents kadang menyebabkan banyak isu dalam pembentukan kendiri dan membentuk diri resilient. Bagaimanakah cara nak mengurangkan overthinking ni?
Okay, baru-baru ni saya buat exercise yang sama tentang overthinking kepada a group of parents. So bila kita kupas, kita bercakap overthinking is actually self-awareness yang sangat uncontrollable. Dia aware ni, overthinking adalah orang yang sangat aware. Tetapi dia terlalu aware. Sampai dia mempersoalkan setiap perkara. Okay, setiap perkara ni, contoh ya, saya bagi contoh. Saya nak pergi pasar. Tapi kalau saya pergi pasar, saya bawa anak, nanti nak pilih ikan, saya tak boleh nak pegang tangan anak. Lepas tu nanti bila nak pegang ikan, nanti tangan tu dah pegang ikan, kotor nak pegang tangan anak lagi. Nanti anak tu pula pegang sana, pegang sini, tangan kotor lagi. Nanti nak cuci tangan anak, nak cuci tangan kita lagi, nak pilih ikan tak dapat. Lepas tu nanti macam mana nak ni, macam mana nak tu, macam ni, macam-macam, banyak tak. Never ending. That is overthinking. And this is actually self-awareness yang keterlampauan. Self-awareness bagus, tetapi kena tahu ada limitation. There are things that you can control, there are things that you cannot control. How do you control? You must prepare. How do you prepare? Oh, nak pergi pasar, tapi tak ada choice, kena bawa anak. So how do I control anak? How do I pilih ikan? Tanpa tangan anak kotor, tangan kita kotor, nak beli barang lain pun tak terganggu. Yang tadi banyak tu kan? What do you do? Beforehand, you ceritalah dengan anak. Okay, kita nak pergi market tau. Mami nak kena beli ikan. Boleh tak masa nak beli ikan tu, awak jangan pegang-pegang. Nanti mami susah hati nak kena basuh tangan. Nanti mami semua benda dah tak ada mood dah nak beli. Nampak tak? So that kind of Orang kata, that is overthinking. Overthinking is actually self-awareness yang keterlampauan yang kita tak boleh nak control. But what I'm telling you is that control what you can control. Itu sahaja. Stop. Okay, so kalau kita beragama, kita pun telah diajar. Ada benda boleh persoalkan, ada benda tak boleh persoalkan. How are we in terms of limiting yourself from certain things yang out of your control? Contoh, overthinking of what's going to happen tomorrow. You do not know what's going to happen tomorrow. You are not the God. You bukan Tuhan yang boleh kontrol esok confirm anak saya masuk sekolah ni, anak saya confirm dapat kerja. Anak saya masuk universiti confirm dapat kerja. Berapa ramai hari ni dapat degree tapi tak ada kerja? Okay, you cannot control that, betul kan? Kejap ya Syamil. Okay, so these are the things yang to be aware that we do have limitations in preparing, in managing, so that there are certain things yang kita berikan sedikit. I'm going to go on that flexibility, adaptability, mom and dad, and that flexibility as well. To be a bit flexible. Jangan terlalu over controlling because that will give you the thing yang you paling tak suka, anxiety issues. So anxiety ni sangat banyak dalam masyarakat kita sebab kita terlalu risau. Seolah-olah kita ni tidak beragama. Kalau orang yang betul-betul faham agama, tak kisah agama apa pun, tidak ada agama yang mengajar kita untuk menjadi seorang yang tidak baik. Semua agama nak kita jadi manusia yang lebih baik. So agama mengajar kita, kalau kita ada faith, okay, faith yang kuat, there are things that you know you can't control because that is kerja Tuhan. So, overthinking, stop immediately. You must know self-awareness yang keterlaluan. You must know that you have limitation. Anak, mana ada anak tak curious? Tengok ikan, squishy, squishy, squishy. Mesti nak pegang. What do you expect? Anak tu robot, tak boleh pegang apa-apa? Cannot. You must have that flexibility, adaptability that children are very curious human being, just like how we are when we were young. Okay, so I hope that helps. Please parents, stop doing overthinking because you yang akan sakit, and when you sakit, anak you jadi mangsa. Kenapa? You tak boleh jaga anak you dengan baik because you dah sakit. So you must stop. Before you sakit, you stop your overthinking. You tak nak anxiety sampai makan pill dan sebagainya. You don't want that. So stop and do the right thing. The tips that I share with you today, you learn more and you practice this in your life. Itu je, saya tak ada cara lain. Parents, you have to work on this. This is your homework. Okay, I hope that helps. Yes, Syamil angkat tangan tadi.
Tak. Saya terangkat tangan tadi.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Ingatkan Syamil ada soalan tadi.
Itulah dia.
Kita teruskan dengan soalan yang ketiga berkaitan dengan step yang ke-9, coping strategies. Okey, soalan ni daripada Facebook ya, Doktor. Daripada Puan Atira Dahlan. Dia bertanya, kalau coping skill yang macam asyik makan benda manis je, macam mana Doktor?
Okay. Again, going back to self-awareness. If it's not going to give you a good effect, makan manis kan extra energy. Tengoklah yang makan manis tu siapa. Kalau kita besar, if makan manis tidak membuatkan you high cholesterol ke, besar badan ke, then okay. As long as you know you're going to be good. Contohlah, if you have very good awareness kan on yourself, you know that you jarang makan chocolate cake. You know you jarang makan chocolate cake, but because you did something and you really feel like you want to reward yourself with chocolate cake. Tapi kali tu you nak makan 3 chocolate cake. Is it okay? Your coping strategies? That is coping strategies. You want to reward yourself. I've done a lot of work today. I'm so tired. I just want to reward myself. My coping strategies of penat. I want to eat 3 chocolate cake. No problem because you know other days you don't eat it. Okay. Kalau kata sweets tadi, you dah tahu dah everyday memang you makan sekampit sweets. And esok sweets lagi, lusa sweets lagi. You know something is not right somewhere. Because your coping is not healthy. So being aware of this, the effect, the impact of it, in which it's so relatable to other things ya kat dalam point ni. Reflecting on your habit, for example, your adaptability to things around you membuatkan you nak makan sweets every day. Something is not right somewhere. To be able to be aware of how your body is, how you are at doing things daily. I hope that helps. Atira Dahlan. Saya kenal dia. Okay. Silakan.
Oh, Doktor menjawab ya soalan kita daripada Facebook. Puan Atira
Okay.
Dahlan. Okey, soalan seterusnya. Is ADHD a biological or inherent factor?
The recent research that I read, ada yang kata, ada ya researcher yang kata, I wouldn't, no, this is not from me, this is from research work. Ada yang kata ADHD ni datang usually at 10 years and above, with things yang untapped, unsettled in here. Okay, ada yang kata begitu. Researcher ya, di luar negara yang memang advanced researchnya, boleh cari. So why is this happening? Let's look back at as simple as looking at the theory of Maslow ataupun looking at Piaget's ataupun looking at other theories yang membina anak daripada zero ni ke atas. Do we give them enough confidence for them to make a lot of mistakes? Do we give them a lot of support, scaffolding? Do we give them a lot of balance in terms of developmental needs? Bila kata developmental needs, you have to remember we have physical development, we have mental development. Saya tak nak sebut kognitif sebab kalau kita kata kognitif, masyarakat kita akan ingat kognitif tu belajar je. No, it's mental development, berfikir, kebolehan berfikir. So kognitif tu berfikir sebenarnya. And then emotional development, did they get enough of this emotional development points, aspects, supports, and then social development. And of course, bila empat ni cantik, akan datanglah rohani, spiritual development, agama. Tapi agama ni sangat susah nak dapat because it's very high level processing. Kita tak nampak benda-benda ni. Kita tak nampak malaikat, kita tak nampak angels, kita tak nampak Tuhan, kita tak nampak. But you have to build faith out of it. But if you don't get the first four right, you won't even get the last one. Spiritual ni takkan datang. Kita hari ni bila katalah belajar agama tu daripada tadika sampailah ke universiti ada subjek agama wajib kan kena belajar. Kenapa tak semat di hati juga? Sebab it's just input masuk and keluar untuk exam. It's not dalam hati. It's not that resiliency part. It's not the pengukuhan of the faith tu. Okay, so going back to the question, Aini, can you just repeat me the question?
Soalan yang tadi ya, Doktor.
Soalan tu.
Is ADHD a biological or inherited factor?
Okay, sorry, saya pergi jauh sedikit. So ADHD ni, you can read research work because I'm not an expert in it, but I did read and I did some discussion juga dengan orang yang memang handle. Ada yang mengatakan bahawa it's not inherited. Ada yang kata it is inherited. Ada yang kata it comes because of all these untapped issues. Because of that, the haywire up here membuatkan ADHD itu berlaku. Tetapi dia ada banyak pencanggahan perbincangan. So it's best to be safe to read and follow all these researchers yang advanced. And I would like to suggest, bacalah researcher daripada Barat sebab mereka memang advance daripada Malaysia bila buat research work in terms of this kind of thing. They have seen ADHD long time ago daripada kita. They have, dia punya special needs, punya support system is much more stable daripada kita yang sistemnya masih lagi haru biru. Okay, baru je tadi daripada nibung tebal pun bila parents kata anak saya 12 tahun doktor tak boleh membaca, dia ada dyslexia doktor, saya dah penat dah doktor pergi turun naik hospital tapi jalannya bukan mudah doktor, saya dah mati kutu dah, tak tahu dah nak buat apa nak tolong anak saya dyslexia. Itu dyslexia, belum lagi ADHD, belum lagi masalah-masalah autism dan sebagainya. So yes, we are still in the process of developing all these things in which memang tak stabil lagi, memang tidak ada, kita banyak swasta lah yang membantu sebenarnya, yang ada masih lagi bersifat-sifat, belum ada satu sistem yang kukuh yang sebagaimana dekat UK. Kalau saya boleh kongsi dengan anda semua ya, saya selitkan tentang dyslexia lah sebab one of the thing yang menarik minat saya dan sangat berkait rapat dengan research kognitif saya ni adalah memahami dyslexia problems. Dekat sana, for a child to be labelled dyslexic, okay, that's a long process that takes months and months and months and months. Kita baru jumpa sekali, baru jumpa 2 kali, diagnose dah dapat kad OKU. Wah, mudahnya kita dapat OKU kad. Mudahnya anak kita dapat OKU kad. Saya rasa sedih. Sebab saya rasa peluang tu tidak di-tapped properly yet before we even give that OKU. Because once you give OKU, it's different case dah. It's a different scenario, different future for this child. Kalau dia ada peluang ya, untuk dibantu dan sebagainya. Dekat UK nak kata dyslexia, the first 6 months is just observing. Observe dulu. Senko mereka, special educational needs, coordinators, mereka akan tengok dulu, mereka akan observe dulu. They will not simply give that labeling yet. Okay, after 6 months of observation and then they have discussions. Discussion mereka bukan sekadar seorang pakar je. Everything yang terlibat akan duduk bersama-sama, 10 orang duduk bersama, all different pakar ya, duduk bersama-sama, discuss about these issues. Okay, what is it? Apa kebolehan dia? Apa yang dia tak boleh? Apa masalah dia? Months and months and months of meetings. After a year, then you will revisit the child again. Belum lagi keluar label ya, keluarkan dulu cara-cara untuk membantu. Okay, very, very, orang kata individualized. Dia panggil educational individualized. I can't remember, EIP, I can't remember, IEP, individualized education plan, something like that, yeah? Okay, so very individualized process. So to say that this whole system, kita tak ada. Kita tak ada yang duduk sama-sama berbincang untuk mengatakan anak ini memerlukan bantuan. Jom sediakan bantuan itu di sekolah ini, specifically for this issues. We don't have that yet. We are still struggling with even our school system, school yang banyaklah isu-isu yang ada tu. Okay, saya stop di situ dulu. So kata Irish tadi, please read more. It's still a work in progress juga in that area. Saya bukan pakar mana-mana special needs, tetapi saya berminat dulu dengan dyslexik kerana kajian saya berkaitan dengan proses otak memproses huruf. So it makes sense to me why dyslexia has problems and that's of course cara untuk membantu. Okay, itu dulu.
Okay, doktor. Nampaknya soalan-soalan kita padu ya malam ni sampai 11 soalan, tapi disebabkan agak kekangan masa sikit bagi doktor juga kan. Tadi dah kena ujar banyak tadi merentas. Okay, mungkin kita ambil lagi satu soalan daripada Puan atau Cik Harmimi. Kalau remaja yang terlalu secure, contoh takut nak mencuba, takut nak ke depan, alasan mereka malu atau nanti kena marah. Bagaimana cara untuk membantu mereka lebih berani?
Okay, allow them to make mistakes. Itu saja. These children yang takut-takut ni sebab dia telah dalam comfort zone yang tidak banyak melakukan mistakes. Mungkin buat mistake kena marah. Sebab tu dia shy away, dia takut kena marah, dia hilang confident. Allow them to make mistakes, and when mistakes happen, be the person, mom and dad, to be that optimism and positive outlook to your child. You be that, you be the scaffold with positive relationship. You be there to help them regulate their emotion bila dia rasa malu. Tak apa kakak, tak apa, mistake ni sikit je. It's okay, mami ada untuk support kakak. It's okay kakak, let's try. It's okay abang, kita cuba dulu. You know, to be there as that number one supporter in order to brave this child to try and make mistakes. The more mistakes you do, the stronger the neural pathway dalam otak ni, instead of just pathway yang kita baru tebang pokok nak buat laluan, dia jadi satu jalan tar yang ada yang ada highway, dua lane tu. Daripada just a pathway, dia jadi highway 2 lane tu. Okay, sebab dia dah buat mistake, lama dia jadi strong. Okay, so mistakes are very important. That's why kita jangan cepat kata no. Kita jangan cepat save the child. Bila dia kata nak cuba sesuatu, go ahead. Let's try it. Okay, support them. Okay, kadang-kadang kita diuji ya dengan remaja ni nak cuba tu benda-benda yang mungkin tak sesuai dan tak senonoh ke, tak elok ke. You have to discuss with your children apa yang okey, apa yang tak okey untuk explore. Contohlah, Mami, Umi yang bertanya soalan, kalau anak tu kata, jom Mami, jom Umi naik roller coaster. Okey ke tak okey? Pergilah. You know, you nak build a bonding relationship. Kalau kita takut sekalipun, pergilah. You know, build that back. Sebab roller coaster bukan senang ya, nak melalui proses. Especially kita yang dah berumur, dah umi-umi ni, nak menjerit pun malu. Go ahead and do it. Ataupun flying fox. Ingat senang nak flying fox? Itu bukan mistakes, tetapi nak menunjukkan keberanian tu. Sebab kita nak cakap pasal confidence. Something about confidence is juga something about keluarkan suara daripada dalam jiwa tu. Keluarkan. Ada orang tak tahu nak menjerit. Saya lah tu antaranya. Kalau saya boleh kongsi dengan anda yang mendengar ni, saya tak nampak nama semua. But there's 46 left. Saya dulu tak pandai nak menjerit pun, Aini and Syamil. I don't know how to shout sampai saya kerja part-time masa tu. Supervisor saya kata, Putri, you I cannot imagine you lah. If anything happen to you, I know you won't shout punya. You no shout lah you. Sebab saya dengan suara lembut masa tu. Saya memang seorang yang sangat timid, penakut. I don't know how to shout. Can you imagine? I don't know how to shout. I can't even do, I cannot. I don't know because I'm shy. I malu nanti orang judge my voice. Masa tu suara saya halus, masih halus. I don't know, tapi lebih tegas hari ini. Dulu tak. Dulu memang bunyi penakut tu ada dalam diri saya. Saya memang dulu penakut. Okay, so I learned how to shout. But shout, dia bukan nak shout ke anak all the time. If you go for a roller coaster ride, you shout lah. Like menyesal je. Legoland, the first ride I took, 4 orang naik kereta tu, lepas tu dia macam ni, ya Allah, why did I even took that ride? I shout lah. Rasa macam menyesal ni. Okay, but anyway, put it at the right place. So you practice. So I learned to let it out. But I do not know how to do it. Puan yang bertanya, there's always a time where you just need to try. Try it out. I'm not talking about shouting lah, but I'm talking about allow your child to make mistake. Dia rasa comfort. Dia tak rasa secure tu. Dia rasa insecure sebenarnya. So kita ni ada banyak insecurities ya. Kita nak anak kita secure, kita tengok balik positive relationship kita. Saya tak cerita hari ni. Dalam teori pendidikan awal kanak-kanak ada satu ni dia bercakap tentang theory of attachment. Secure attachment ni adalah apabila dalam teori Maslow kita dapat semua layer. Semualah yang support bagus tu semua kita dapat. Tetapi jika berlakunya kekurangan di mana-mana akan berlakulah insecurities here and there. Insecurities antaranya avoidant insecurities tu. Bila you avoidant insecurities, mak datang nak pegang dia dah avoid. Ataupun kita boleh nampak ni katalah kita suami isteri. Kita nak pegang dia dah avoid. Dia avoidant. Susah kita nak bagi kasih sayang. Susah kita nak tunjuk love pun pada pasangan kita tu. Sebab dia avoid. Because dalam hidup dia dulu, attachment dengan mak ayah dia kurang. Tidak ada. It's always avoidant. Avoid dia macam mak ayah avoid ataupun mak ayah dah avoid. Anak tak faham apa-apa. Anak ni memang sukakan berlayan. Mak ayah avoid, anak akan jadi avoid. Bila dah besar, kita pun avoid. So tadi tu, it's actually insecurities. Dia takut nak mencuba. Anak-anak yang takut nak mencuba, galakkan mereka untuk mencuba. Start dengan sesuatu yang mereka suka dahulu. Yang mereka rasa selesa untuk lakukan. Janganlah terus pergi roller coaster, terus pergi flying fox. Memang sangat menakutkan. Okay, but try something yang dia rasa bolehlah nak cuba. Mak ayah perlu tahulah anak tadi boleh apa, tak boleh apa. I hope that helps. Sebelum kita end ya, saya nak minta maaf kalau saya terkasar bahasa. Saya memang begini, tegas orangnya sebab dah macam-macam orang saya jumpa, parents. If you don't change, if you don't do it now, we don't have time to wait. Itu je sebab dah jumpa macam-macam orang. Jadi please don't waste your time. If you dah dengar benda ni, if you can do this today, do it today. Jangan tunggu-tunggu dah. Kita tak ada masa. Kita tak tahu esok lusa kita mungkin dah tak ada kat dunia ni. Kita tak tahu. Do it now. Jangan sampai kita menyesal nanti. Okay, kalau anak kita sekarang dah umur 19, do it. Umur 19, tiba-tiba, mak kenapa lah mak ni buang terbiak. Tak ada masalah. Just do it. Okay, minta maaf dulu. Mami dulu tak pandai bab-bab ni. Mami nak cuba perbaiki. Can I start with you? Do it. Okay, so I hope that helps. Saya minta maaf semua ya. This is who I am. I'm very stern and firm sebab apa yang saya dah buat selama ni dah hampir 10 tahun membuatkan saya merasakan kita tak ada masa nak waste. So I hope all these tips will help you start somewhere. Okay, thank you.
Terima kasih Dr. Putri. Sangat menarik perbincangan malam ni. Kesimpulannya dapat kita lihat bahawa ada 12 tips datang daripada Dr. Putri sendiri. Okey. Saya sangat berkenan sangat dengan tips yang emosi tu. Yang pasal inside out tu memang super lah cerita dia. Dia harap tuan-puan dapat tengok inside out dan wall E. Bagi mengakhiri webinar kita pada malam ini, saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada penceramah kita, Dr. Putri Afzan Maria Zulkifli atau lebih dikenali sebagai Dr. Pams, dan sudi berkongsi ilmu dan pandangan yang berharga melalui pengalaman beliau sendiri dalam pendidikan awal kanak-kanak. Saya juga ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada para hadirin yang sudi meluangkan masa dan bertanya soalan bagi menimba ilmu pada webinar malam ini. Semoga sesi kali ini dapat memberi pengetahuan dan kesedaran tentang peranan keibubapaan dalam dunia digital tanpa batasan untuk anak-anak. Sebelum kita tamatkan sesi, Skolar Malaysia meminta agar tuan-puan dapat mengisi survey yang kita telah beri pada ruangan chat. Dan dalam masa yang sama, diminta semua hadirin untuk membuka kamera bagi sesi swafoto.
Saya stop sharing
Doktor.
kejap ya.
Ya, baru je nak.
Okey. Okey.
Okay, jemput semua, buka kamera. Saya akan ambil gambarnya, fotonya. Mana semua? Okey. Ada berapa ramai ni? 40 orang peserta. 40 orang peserta. Hadir yang dalam kereta lagi. Semangat. Semangat belajar. Okey. Ada lagi? Ada lagi?
Yang dalam kereta tu tim saya ni. Dia orang baru balik ni daripada hibun tebal.
Okey.
Thank you,
Terbaik.
thank you. Okay,
Semangat.
nak drive.
Ada lagi. Okay, kita bagi masa. Kamera HP tak boleh on, tak apa. Siapa yang ada kamera boleh onkan dulu. Kita bagi masa dalam 2 minit macam tu lah kot. Sebab masa mencemburui kita. InsyaAllah, terima kasihlah kepada doktor dan semua peserta. Okay, ada lagi? Ada lagi? Ada lagi? Saya bagi masa 1 minit je. Boleh 1 minit je. Lagi 30 saat. Okay, 30 saat berakhir. Okay, ready? Okay, smile everyone. Kejap mana button screenshot. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, kejap saya save dulu. Another shot Bagi saya masa untuk saya. Alamak, mana ni? Kejap Saya nak kena save dulu. Kejap. Lama pula nak kena mengedit. Tak edit. Kejap. Okay, saya save dulu gambar ni. Kejap. Lama pula. Okay, another one. Sorry. Okay, another one. Siapa yang lambat tu boleh masuk sempatlah masuk. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Okay, thank you so much.
Leave here. Boleh?
Thank
Boleh.
you, Dr. Putri.
Okay, boleh.
Thank you, Miss. Okay. Bye, everybody. Assalamualaikum. Take care.
Terima kasih Dr. Putri.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Putri, thank you very much.
Itu.